Hello and welcome. It is Andy from Twisted Narrative here, and I've got a whole host of fine people that are joining me tonight to attempt to solve the riddle of a Rotwood Bog. Let us introduce our cast first. So it's good to say hello. Some might be familiar faces to you already, others not. But we'll start off with you, Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I've played with Andy for a long time, many years, and it's great to be taking part in this event.
Yeah, I always have a good time with the games that you're in, and I'm very much looking forward to see how you breathe life into your character tonight. And we'll jump straight across to you over there, Kyle.
Hello, I'm Kyle. I've been role playing for around 5 years with Andy. It's a privilege to be able to experience what's the first collaboration between Matt and Andy, and from all my experiences with them, it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Fingers crossed, but you are players, and when players come into impact with the game, anything can happen. Normally, it is enjoyable, whether good or bad. Um, and then we move down to a very familiar face to me, Matt.
Hello, I am Matt. I am uh, co-writer of the Riddle of Rotwood Bog with Andy. So very excited to be on the other side of the pen and the screen and the table, metaphorically speaking, this time.
So yeah, in all transparency for this, Matt should hopefully know what's going on, having co-written
Well,
this
I'm,
Riddle of Rotwood.
but I will be doing my very best to not let that influence anything that my
Okay,
character would do.
it's good to know that you're doing that, but for those who've known me a long time as a GM, I shall be ensuring that you don't necessarily know everything that is going on. So watch out for a few surprises. I do
Oh,
like a degree of chaos and randomness here. So, yeah, if you do see Matt's face kind of go in stark terror, you know that we've gone perhaps off the rails a little bit. Um, or maybe not. Maybe I'm just playing mind games with him. In 3 hours' time, we will know. Last but certainly not least, just below Matt is Michael.
Hello, Michael. I've been gaming with Andy, I don't know, probably about the same, about 4 or 5 years, the same as other people. Face to face for a bit, but mostly online. Good to have a retread of the bog.
Yes, I've got a fondness of bogs, and yes, we are indeed revisiting it. Yes, yeah, okay. I think we'll move on very rapidly from there. Normally, even with session zeros, even with one shots, I would do a sort of session zero. As you're aware, I'm very familiar with all of these players. I'm very aware of all their lines and veils, and we've had a number of discussions about it. Um, so we're going to move sort of rapidly on um, to the game itself. Um, the way that we have presented Riddle, though, is um, the players start off with their basic equipment. It's a game that is designed for up to 6 third level characters. All of our characters here are third level. But I do like kind of spicing it up a little bit and randomizing things somewhat. So we're going to give you a chance of getting something a little bit special. We are using Fantasy Grounds tonight as our virtual tabletop of choice, and our players can see that I've dropped into the chat box a little button with table something special. If we take this in turns, what I would like you to do, starting with you, Rachel, is to open up that table and press the roll button, and let us see what you perhaps get from
All
this.
right, so I'll give it a click. 8.
Okay, 8.
Healing
You
potion.
have got a healing potion. Well done. So I'm going to transfer that immediately across to your character now. Say we are using fancy grounds there. So this is what a healing potion would do. Character who drinks this magical red fluid will regain a 2d4 plus 2 hit points. Drinking, administrating a potion takes an action. Well, I'm too kind to my players as I house rule it that it only takes a bonus action to drink it yourself, and it takes an action to give it to someone else. Now I've just dropped that onto your character sheet.
Thank you.
That is okay. Then we move up to Kyle. If you want to sort of roll on that as well. I can't believe it. You've got an 8 as well. I'm going to have to. So I'm going to drop this onto your character sheet as well. At least I don't have to explain what a potion of healing does a second time. And then we move down to you, Matt. If you want to give that table a roll. Oh, you've got a 4. A few silver coins. If you roll 1d6. Perfect. And you've got 2 shiny silver coins. See, not everybody starts off with a healing potion. Last but not least, again, Michael, if you want to give us a roll on that table, see what you can get. You've got a few gold coins. Roll 1d6, please. There you go. You've got 5 extra gold coins. Whether they will be of use in this one shot or not, who knows? Maybe there'll be future adventures where a few coins will come in handy. So this is something that we do before we start the game. It just is a little bit of an icebreaker. It allows the players and the characters to have something in addition, and it kind of establishes that the players are not, or the characters are not brand new to this setting, that they have been adventuring before. Then we will, oops, that's all my secret notes that everybody can see. We will start the game properly. The world is a magical place. You are kismet blessed. Fate, destiny and fortune always ensure that you're in the right place at the right time, often throwing you into the thick of adventure. You've been travelling with your companions for a while and have been hired to find out what is causing the wild creatures of Rotwood Bog to attack the people of the hamlet of Scratch. Having travelled deep into the bog, you've managed to pick up an odd set of tracks. Pausing for a moment, you look up at your companions to see what you all make of them. This now is the perfect opportunity to introduce your characters. We'll start off with you, Ardan. What do you look like? What would your companions already know about you?
So, as you look at Ardan, you would see a tall, solidly but not necessarily hugely stocky, but powerfully built half-elven individual in beautifully crafted armor with elements of kind of etchwork on the metal itself, and carrying a beautiful, again, beautifully crafted longsword with a solid tower shield on, sort of slung over his back. And you would know of, Arden, that he has famous ancestry that is casts a long shadow that he sometimes struggles to live under. So he struggles sometimes to find his own way, and has effectively stepped away from his famous past and his famous family to try and forge his own path with varying levels of success. And he tries not to let his noble background influence his treatment of other people, but sometimes it doesn't work.
Beautifully described. And we can see there the miniature that is available in the Kickstarter of Ardan there. Moving along from Ardan, we can then move on to Birgitt. What do the rest of your companions see with you?
Yeah, so Birgitt's a tall lady, not too old, sort of, I guess, my age, long hair, and she's heavily armoured. She's obviously ready to get stuck into battle and well prepared. But she's cheerful nonetheless. She's generally friendly to the party, open, pleasant, and honest. But she takes very seriously her faith as a cleric of the Bright One. So she will always be taking the time to pray and center herself, and she will get quite angry if people are maybe not taking things seriously when they should do, morality wise, or we need to get stuck in to help somebody. Birgit's keen to get stuck in and be the good cleric, because she grew up in a small village that was badly affected by weather and drought, and found her faith through that, and wants to carry it forward. But as I say, she's heavily armored, but she also has a big weapon as well, big mace and a shield. So she's ready to stand protecting.
Perfect. I love that. Then we move to Mordai the Weaver.
So, Mordai is a tall, broad-shouldered individual dressed in red robes, which accentuate his delightful blue skin and large curled horns showing his demonarch heritage. He's middle-aged, quite intimidating to some, but as you come to know, he does have a soft heart within, especially for those weaker than himself. One thing you have learned to suffer with, possibly with rolled eyes, is that sometimes when he casts particular magics, unusual things happen at the whim of Andy, the GM. He is a wild surge sorcerer.
Indeed, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
I'm
Like,
only casting cantrips today, Andy.
hopefully that is a good choice. And then last but not least, we move to our final member of the adventuring company, Moonlight on Waves. What does the rest of the company see?
Moonlight on Waves is a fairly small tabaxi with dark fur and silver spots along it. She is playing her mandolin as we walk along the path in this bog and regaling the party yet again with stories of her first adventure and her great search for her lost siblings.
Perfect. So you have all descended into the bog, and the bog itself is well, truly disgusting. It has a terrible stench about it, the fetid water, bubbling in occasions as swamp marsh gas kind of burps, and the smell is almost overwhelming. Everything here seems to either be wet or rotting, and of course the temperature, no, not the temperature, the humidity is causing you all to really sweat far more than useful. And the few supplies that you have seem to not be warding away the incessant insects that are buzzing and biting at you. There are, though, some tracks that you have found. They are intermittent. They seem to be bipedal. This is not animal tracks. Some are kind of booted, others are not. And the strange thing about it is that the only reason why you have uncovered them is the weight of these creatures must be extreme. The fact that they have trod in this sort of peat, this mire, and it is taking quite a long time for the swamp to absorb it back again. But the tracks are unusual, and surely this is a clue to what you have been sent out by the villagers to uncover. How do you wish to proceed from here? Have any of you got any skills in tracking, or are you just going to make your way you best you can into the swamp deeper and deeper?
Yes, would someone remind me who was tracking, because I guarantee it wasn't me.
Well, I can have a go. It's not exactly my skill set, but I'll have a try. Unless anybody else wants to. No? Okay. Well, then I would like to see if I can glean any more information from the tracks, or at least glean a general direction that they're following, if possible.
Yeah, I mean, this shouldn't be particularly too challenging. As I say, you've uncovered it. But one would suggest maybe a survival role for this. But if you can think of any other cunning or clever way of following these tracks, I am open to suggestions.
I think survival feels like, even though I'm not great at it, but that does feel like the right one. So I will give it a survival roll and see what
Okay.
happens, if that's cool.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Oh, the fates and fortune are with you. Said it wasn't challenging.
17.
17 indeed. It's trivial to you, really, as you move through. The ground gets a little higher, just a touch above the water level, and you begin to follow it for a good 5-10 minutes. And because you rise up, the swamp mist dissipates somewhat. It's heavy at the moment, clinging down. It's still there, but as you approach and follow the tracks even further, you you can hear a conversation going on. It is in common, but it is heavily accented with draconic. They are ranting at an individual. They are saying, "Just shut up. I don't like my food to talk back to me. We can't get this fire started." As you peer through the mist, you see across the way there is a sort of small sinkhole of swamp water, and on the other side of it you see that there is an individual bound, kind of sat amongst a bundle of rotting logs. Kind of looks as if it is a native of the swamp, some kind of beaver folk, maybe rat folk, humanoid for definite. The three others, though, most definitely the cause of the tracks. You see three heavy set Dracora Kai scouts. They seem to be attempting to light this rotten wood, attempting to burn or perhaps even cook this poor unfortunate alive. Let me show you the layout of this with the map itself. For those of you in chat, hopefully you can see what is going on here now. So they haven't noticed you yet. They are far too intent on their meal. The chances of them lighting this fire are very low. But if you were to move any closer, there is a good chance that they certainly might hear you without a degree of stealth or cunning. Please, adventuring company, tell me how you wish to proceed.
We must go in there and help before they eat that poor creature.
Yes, let's go over. Maybe we can share our rations with them and we can all sit down and discuss why they feel it's necessary to eat another creature. So many edible funguses and other plants around here. I'm sure we can convert them.
I'm not sure of the digestive tracts of these Dracoricae. I'm not sure. Hopefully they can live on fungi, but I'm also not sure they'll be open to it. But
You never know unless you talk to them
you
first.
never know. I guess I have spells that could start the attack from range, or we could try and sneak up closer.
Well, I'm happy to allow you to sort of attempt a gentle persuasion of them outside of their carnivorous nature. Feel the only transformation that will undergo them is a rapid one to charcoal. But I'm quite happy to allow a chance for peace to have its way.
We just have to be careful they don't take that chance to hurt. We must move in and cut off the creature from them in that case.
Well, if we want to try talking, then perhaps, if you're so willing, Moonlight, perhaps you want to go and try the conversation. The rest of us can try and get strategic positions just in case things go awry, shall we say.
Oh, you're always so doubtful. Talking's the answer to everything.
Well, by all means, make the attempt, and we'll be there to pick up the pieces afterwards if we need to.
Okay, so they haven't noticed you yet. It sounds very much like Moonlight. You've got some kind of idea of what you want to do. I guess you've got the initiative here at the moment. Describe to me what you are going to try and do.
I'm going to allow a minute or so to everyone to position themselves as they please, and I'm going to calmly walk out, paws blade forward, showing no threat, offering to break bread with them and share stories.
Okay, that sounds good. So the initiative is being passed to the other three of you to try and get into some kind of place strategically. So we'll ask you first, Ardan. Where are you planning to try and move to? What are you attempting to do? If you move closer, there is a chance they might hear you. Where you are, you're absolutely fine, though.
I'm debating whether I want to try and get close enough to be able to move in, or just spread out and use a readier bow. That feels like the right approach. So I think I'm going to try and flank to one side or the other of where our group currently is, probably moving effectively kind of northward, I suppose, on the map.
Yeah, if you move northward, you're certainly far enough away from them so they're not going to hear you, so you can move northward without any kind of check.
Yeah.
So feel free to...
Yeah, just to get... I will move to about there, if that's okay.
Okay, I'll let you move to there. Perfect.
Happy to do a stealth check or something if you wish.
No, as I say, at the moment they're arguing amongst themselves. They're not really paying any kind of attentions, and you're far enough away. There is this thin fog that is obscuring at the moment. So we'll ask the same question to Birgitt. What are you attempting to do before Moonlight moves forward?
I will also try and move up because I want to make sure I can get in if required. But I think I will cast Shield of Faith on Moonlight before he goes in.
Okay. So yeah, if you target Moonlight and cast the spell, that would be very good. I believe that gives Moonlight +2 to their armor class.
Yeah.
Perfect. And whilst the divine magics of Birgitt are being bestowed upon Moonlight, Mordai, what have you got in mind?
I think Mordai's quite happy where he is. Will remain, maybe moving his feet so he doesn't sink into the mud, but otherwise not moving.
Okay. So it seems your companions now, Moonlight, are in position as best as they can. It is fairly risky. You are going to walk in there, but describe to me what you are doing.
So, going to make an effort a little bit away from the companions and be quite loud and obvious as I'm sort of coming through, drumming my instrument and sing a small song as I start to approach.
Okay, you get to about there, and you hear did you hear that? Maledictor is coming. Everybody, suit up. Look like you. One of them falls over into the mud, and there's a big splat. No, get yourself sorted. Maledictor is. And as you appear through the mist, they sort of look at you again. Aye, you are no maledictor.
No, I go by Moonlight on Waves. Greetings. How are you on this, well,
Hungry.
would you care for some help with that fire and I will happily break bread with you, share some stories?
Yeah, if you can get this fire lit, you can share a bit of the meat.
No, I have plenty of rations to go around. I'm sure this must be a misunderstanding. Let's get a fire, some stories going. I have food. Perhaps untie this individual. And, well, let us have an enjoyable evening.
No, I don't
What?
think so. Do you know how
Well,
long it took for us to catch him? He's got small legs, but he's very fast.
I'm
Plus,
sure.
if we let him go, he's going to rat on us. Yeah, he'll rat on us. He's
What
from
if we get...
yonder, and yeah, well, we got business here in the Rotwood business, and he's going to be telling everybody about the business. We don't like to
what if...
share our business.
Let's get a promise from him not to pass on anything he's heard or seen in exchange for letting him go. I'm sure he'll be quite agreeable to that, especially after we sit down and eat. Eating together makes people so much more agreeable.
How about we cut his tongue out? We eat his tongue, and he can't talk then. Do you think he can write? How about we break his fingers? Yeah. Can you give me a persuasion roll, Moonlight, please? Wow, impressive. Your words, although not magically laced, you are skilled in such things, and your approach hasn't riled them. You do believe that they have this creature's worst interest. They are unlikely to just simply let him go. But you yourself, at the moment, seem to be welcome within their encampment if you wish to carry on forward.
I will do so, and if I don't think it's likely I'm going to be able to get them to release this creature, I will ask them what they're doing in such a place, if they are willing to share.
Like we said, we've got a big pile of business to be done, and it's important business. But we're not allowed to talk about it. We're not allowed. Shh. Talk no about it. No talking about it.
Very understandable.
Yeah.
I perhaps would. I'm very fond of communication through song. Would you perhaps like to join me as we sing our tales of our adventures?
Sung. Wow. I mean,
Not
normally
talking.
the songs of the maledictors are, well, they have power and they do strange things to us. We've seen people blown apart by the drumming that they can do. Total cacophony of sound. Can you do that? Can you make him blow up with your music? We'd like to see that.
Well, I'm afraid that's a bit beyond me. I simply entertain and, well, pass on stories with my music. It's a lovely hobby of mine. I find it helps long guard duties and walks pass so much quicker. And a meal's always better with a bit of background, don't you agree? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and pass out some of the rations I have
Oh
and offer
yeah,
them up.
they'll certainly sort of take them. Absolutely. They say that the maledictors of Rask, they are very powerful and to be feared. If you cross the will of Rask, well, they might seek you out. The good news is that they are busy, busy at the moment, uh, doing their songs. They are, yes. This is very kind of you, and they very greedily take more than they are welcome to. How many rations do you have on you?
Or did you, haven't you?
Yep, I have 5 days worth of rations.
Okay, well, unless you stop them, they just help themselves, and those 5 rations are gone greedily, some of which are eaten straight away. A couple of them begin to sort of saying, you've had more than me. They are all very distracted at the moment, fighting over the rations. One of them telling you about this individual who sounds pretty much like the person that's in charge, this Rask, and about these musicians that are called maledictors that seem to be part of this company of Dragora Kai.
Okay, I'm going to start playing my instrument fairly loudly to offer a bit of sound cover as well as a distraction from the food if the others wish to take advantage of that. Other than that, I'm going to go along the lines of...
I was going to say, would you say that you have all worked together before, and I have little doubt, Moonlight, that this is not the first time that you've tried this ploy. And when you get to a point that you know that these, whilst friendly to you, they have their orders, and it's going to be very difficult to persuade them to take a new line of course, that perhaps you have a certain song that you play, as you said, very loud, that your other companions would recognize as a signal to move in.
Certainly sounds like something I would do.
Perfect. So
Does feel like a nice tactic.
yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to ask for a stealth roll for you. You rolled very good on your persuasion. You have gave them rations which they are greedily fighting over, and there is this loud noise that you're playing at the moment that easily means that you can move without stealth rolls. So we're still not in initiative at the moment. When you start getting closer in plain sight, perhaps they will recognise you. But I'll certainly say you can get anywhere up to maybe 30 feet away from them before they have a chance of spotting you because of all of this distractions going on.
Cool.
Okay, so we all can just move up.
You
within-
can, yeah, you can move up within 30 feet. So that is not a problem.
Also be moving up to similar sort of.
Yeah, so a couple of people going up there and someone else moving round there to the bottom.
We're both in armor, so going behind is probably better.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have a certain chord or a certain change in tempo, Moonlight, that is the signal for everybody to strike?
Yeah, I think that might be a possibility. Have they gathered a bit closer together, fighting rations off me and...
Wow, you're asking for lots, aren't you? Cheeky players. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that you could have easily done that, and they are perhaps a little bit closer together now. But I'm also going to say with your very good persuasion roll and superb tactical role playing there, that you've got a surprise round as you strike that final chord or change the song to battle music, whatever you do. You've got a surprise round now. A surprise round means that you all get your full turns before any of them have chance to act. So if you would all like to roll initiatives for everybody else as well. Oh, we do need to sort of get some of these rolls for the audience to see. So we just need initiative roll of Birgitt. Lovely.
1.
It is a 1, but I often believed it's always best, and I've mentioned this a few times, for healers to be the last, not necessarily the surprise round. But even with a 1, you're going to act before any of these Dragora Kai scouts. So let us go to the top of the round, and it is a Moonlight on Waves going on a 22. What would you like to do?
believe with the final strike of the chord, I am going to cast Fairy Fire on them.
Oh, good choice. It's a great spell.
2 and 3. Yep.
So you've targeted them, and 2 of them are lit up. The third succeeds. So you can apply that, and boom, boom, boom. Those ones there now are glowing with a magical light. What colour is your fairy fire?
A bright violet.
Bright violet. And are you still carrying on your ruse, Moonlight? Is this part of the show? Or is it a little bit more aggressive the way you cast it?
I'm going to be casting it sort of like a final finishing chord, throwing my hands out and making them light up as if I'm trying to make it the end of a show,
Yeah.
a bright light show.
So what I would like is a performance roll off you as well. Your dice rolls are fantastic tonight. Yes. So they all cheer. They all think it's fantastic that they are coated in this magical light, and it stops them fighting amongst themselves for a moment. And there is one of them, I believe, that wasn't lit up. Number
Mhm.
1, and is why am I not on fire? At that point, we move to Ardan, who is next in initiative on a 19.
Okay. So I want to get up and hit them with my sword. I don't think I'm close enough to be able to do it though. So
Well, I mean, tactically speaking, I did say you could get within 30 feet of them. So as long as your movement is 30
yes,
feet, we can say that can happen.
if you're happy for that to happen, that will be lovely. In which case, I will move to there.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's
I will attempt to.
battle maps are great, especially when they're beautifully produced, like this one here
Yeah.
from Dungeon Alchemist. But also, kind of, if we were playing Theatre of Mind, we would have said you're going to move up to 30 feet
Yeah.
away from them. So it's absolutely fine. You charge forward, and what are you going to do?
I'm going to strike out with my beautifully crafted longsword and attempt to slash one of them across the back as they're facing in, looking for more rations from my friend.
Perfect.
Uh,
So it is control and left click to target said Dragorakai.
Thank you kindly.
Perfect.
That one.
And if you go to your actions page, which is the final tab on your character sheet, you should be able to see that you've got your longsword attack.
Cool. And I will.
You have
Well,
advantage because of fairy fire, so you hit.
Of course. Excellent.
And then you just apply your damage. Okay, very nice. You strike them for 5 points of damage. They are truly shocked, still believing that Moonlight currently is on their side. They shout up, looking at you, Ardan. We are attacked! Quickly! And they turn their backs to you, Moonlight, getting ready. It would be Dragorakai Scout number 2, but they are surprised, then 1, but they are surprised. Then we move to Mordai, the Weaver.
Right, so Mordai will conjure in his hand a mote of fire, and using a sorcery point, flick his fingers until there are 2 present, and then cast a twinned firebolt spell.
Oh, nice.
So we'll target them one at a time.
Yeah, that's fine. And Firebolt is a cantrip, isn't it?
Yes, which... Oh, thank you. There we go. So here's the first one. Yep.
Lovely. That is a nice hit again with advantage because of the fairy fire. Oh, it burns him. They're not resistant to fire. They kind of,
And then the second one aiming at the other nice glowy one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again hitting.
Nice.
Oh, for good damage. Very nice. So, any movement from you or anything else?
Yes, he will sort of come out. 10, 20, stand next to his companion.
Yeah.
Look over at Dragorakai Scout 1. Don't worry, the flames will come for you soon enough. Since I think that was the one moaning that he was not yet
Yes.
on fire.
I don't want to be on fire. No, I don't want to be on fire. Dylan can't really do anything. He's tied up at the moment. Then the scout can't do anything because they are surprised. And last but not least, we move to Birgitt. What would you like to do?
Okay, so Birgit is going to use Guiding Bolt.
Perfect.
Hope missed anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, you called down and a little bit sort of shocked. The one that you were targeting, the one that wasn't fairy fired, manages just about to move out of the way of it before you slam down the divine power of your god.
But I will move up.
Yeah, excellent. Right, so that was the surprise round. We rinse and repeat now as Moonlight. We come back to you on round 2. What would you like to do now? You can see them grasping for their weapons, ready to defend themselves. They are getting a little suspicious now as your companion has walked right by the side of you.
I am going to sort of try and stumble away from him, acting surprised, and go for sort of help and reach for one of their weapons.
Okay. So, sorry, what's your intention? Are you doing an
I'm-
attack or?
No, I'm trying to just impede them to getting ready.
Okay,
Sort of
so what I'm
reaching
going
for a
to need
sword or
off
whatever they've got.
you is, again, another performance roll as you are acting. I'm guessing you help, protect me, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. Sorry, I just need to move a few things. 15 is not bad. What I'm going to say, though, is that they have been set aflame. They have been attacked. I'm going to give... this is scout number 2. I'm going to make them make an insight roll now. They are not the brightest. You might have guessed this already. Some Dragorakai most definitely are. But I'm going to do an insight roll here. 16. They've got -1 to it, but they rolled a 17 and a 16. So unfortunately, seeing through your deception, as you try to impede them by playing the fool and getting behind them, and generally be a massive distraction. You are with them, he says, and unfortunately it has no effect. Then we move to Ardan.
I'm going to do the same again.
Okay.
So, yeah. Slash away at the same chap. Does my targeting stick, or do I need to do it again?
You are currently targeting the scout number 3,
Cool.
so that is good.
Yeah. I'll stick with that one. So I will.
Oh, a critical hit. Well done.
Ooh,
Excellent
20.
stuff.
Nice. Cool. Okay. So
Very nice. And you just, how do you do this?
so the first strike having gone in, I will just bring my sword back around and sort of raise it up, and just before strike say, "Terribly sorry for the inconvenience." Slash him across the back, and just watch him drop to the ground.
Perfect, yeah. And he just sort of falls down. There is a rage that comes off the other scouts. They obviously are fond for each other, and the person getting the full blame isn't you, Ardan, who slayed him, but for this sly Moonlight on waves. This is all your fault, he says, grasping his short sword, and attempts to hit you. First attack misses. Wow. And I said first attack because, yes, these have 2 attacks. Second attack comes in but does catch you, slicing you for all max damage as well. But you manage to maintain your concentration on the fairy fire. Then we move to the scout number 1. This is for my brother. He stamps on its body and swings its sword at you, Ardan. First attack. That's going to hit. Very good. I'm rolling hot tonight. Not so much damage. And second attack. Critical miss. Automatic fail. Okay. And then with that, we move to Mordai.
Oh, dear fellow Moonlight, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were continuing with a longer performance of shenanigans. My deepest apologies.
The performance is never over.
No, indeed not. I hate critics and will send a firebolt at the nearest critic, who happens to be scout number 2.
Okay. Nicely done. So you've hit. Heavily damaged now. Single shot this time, yeah.
Yep. And we'll move. No, actually, we'll stay where he is because he
Perfect.
likes the range.
Dylan is now struggling. This beaver folk. He's trying to get a sort of gag that is semi on. And then we move to Birgitt.
Okay. Birgitt will just hit Scout 1 at this point, as she's next to him.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
you do indeed hit Scout 1. Very nice. And that, I believe, is your go. How rapid these rounds are moving round, and we move back to Moonlight on waves.
Well, the jig is up. The curtain's about to fall. I'm going to try and hit it on the top of the head with the dagger to try and knock it out rather than kill it. I want more information.
Sounds good to me. So non-lethal damage. It is fairy fired, and you did hit it. Not enough to subdue it, though, as it recoils. You'll pay for that. Is that your go, Moonlight?
It is, yes.
We move to Ardan.
Okay, I am going to. I'm just going to move around this dude, and then I'm going to attempt to strike him with my longsword instead of the squished one. I haven't targeted him. Hang on. That one. There we go. And then there we go.
Oh, very nice.
Right.
Because you're a special type of fighter, you get a critical hit on a 19.
I do. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
The machine, the virtual tabletop of our choice, Fantasy Grounds, hasn't forgotten. And it's told you that you have got a critical hit. So it should auto double the damage. Wow. Turning him from virtually unwounded to heavily wounded.
Lovely. Yeah. And so I'm just going to stay. What I might do is move down 1 as well. So I'm effectively flanking with Birgitt if she tries to slash.
Putting yourself into danger's way as both the scouts are realizing that you are truly the threat, and they're not going to try and get any tactical advantage, but rather than attack the others, they're going to attack you. You have 2 attacks from Andragora Kai Scout number 2 coming in. First one misses. Second one misses. And just so you know, out there, these are all open rolls. The players can see me rolling this, and I am not fudging them. I am doing very badly. The scout number 1 is going to do the same thing. Yet another miss. This time it is a hit. And for max damage. Very nice. That makes me feel so much better. And then we move to Mordai, the Weaver.
Waves. I noticed you handled your dagger in a most unusual way. Are we keeping this one in a state of not charcoal?
We need answers. This seems the best way to get it. I think less charcoal would be preferable, but we only need one.
The
While I
scout number 2 that you're obviously indicating to says, "You won't get any answers out of me. I'm loyal to Rask. She's a terrible sorceress, and she would do terrible things to me if I was to betray her. No answers out of me. Ha ha."
Oh no, what kind of terrible things could she possibly do? A sorcerer?
would you like me
Sounds.
to show you?
So you get the idea these are not the wisest of Dragorakai.
Allow me to demonstrate, which is the word said before rolling 2 ones. But there we go. The thing with sorcerers.
Yeah.
Lead with the mouth and then sad. So we'll fire a firebolt because clearly one
It
isn't
all
going to be
comes
talking.
to.
And we have a
all-
beaver folk.
Yeah.
Is that the type of thing that would happen about that?
You just hear an expletive, a foul word come out of their mouth as you incinerate them.
Go over and cover Wave's ears at such.
Such language.
Yes.
Indeed, but nicely done. Then we move to Birgitt.
Well, bash him again, I guess.
Bash him again.
Hopefully.
Are you trying to do non-lethal damage, or are you trying to do? You trying to take this down and question Dylan instead, the beaver folk?
I mean, with him being the only one left, I think they're dangerous. I'm not sure we're going to get much more out of them.
Okay.
But I'll go for, I guess, trying to knock him down at the very least.
Okay. You will have advantage if this is a melee attack. You'll have advantage on it because you now have flanking with Ardan. He's probably still fairy-fied as well. So you certainly hit with your mace. It's a very strong hit, and it kind of, you can see you've knocked the wind out of him. He's kind of heavy now, and there's ringing in his ears, but he is still standing.
Okay, I'll leave him and I'll move to Dylan. I realise he might get a thing against me though.
Yeah, the fight hasn't been truly knocked out of him. Given that chance, he is going to take a swing at you to pay you back for what you've just done to him, at the very least. As he stabs wildly with his short sword, which does just catch you. Not for a huge amount of damage, but enough to make the shield of faith fade from Moonlight. Okay, and then we move to Moonlight. You might be on mute, Moonlight.
No. I'm going to wander up to say, this is your final chance to surrender and tell us what you know. Otherwise, I'll point my dagger at it and say, just make a miming motion of stabbing.
Okay. Because you are doing this, you can give me either an intimidation or persuasion roll. You can have advantage on this as he's seen what you've done to the rest of this scouting party. Let us see whether you can. Oh, very nice. A 22. You are one with the way of words, and the fight, the blow from Birgitt knocked the wind out of him. and he's just and he drops his short sword. No more, no more. And with that, we are out of initiatives as he has surrendered to you.
Does anyone require any healing? I'll just untie a villain here, but then I can cast any.
He says, yes, I'm badly hurt.
I don't know his name, I
Not-
obviously, until we talk to him. But,
Not you.
Uh,
If you could spare a word or two, that wouldn't hurt, but I
Yeah,
can get by if need be.
indeed. The critics decided to express their thoughts through a short sword. I hate it when they do that.
we were enjoying your music and the lights. That was good. Then they came to hit us.
Oh, it's the perils of trying to have a barbecue with living folk, I suppose.
Oh, we could kill him.
I think our friend here was hoping you'd turn to the life of fungus and berries, but
Bleh, 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 bleh. Have you eaten fungus and berries?
I try to avoid fungus personally.
All right. What are you? Some kind of chefs going around trying to convert people to eating extreme chefs? Is that what you are?
Mordecai will cast Thaumaturgy. You have no idea how extreme we can get, as he makes his voice somewhat louder and more rumbly.
Okay, he's in a bad way. It has an instant effect. And he goes, okay, berries then. I'll start eating berries.
How about you tell us what's going on here first? And
Well,
then you can have all the berries you like.
I don't want any berries, but he seems to be insistent. Did you see the shadows? His eyes. Terrible.
Yes. Yes, he's very scary. Now, what's going on?
Well, we're trying to cook this fella here. You see, he was spying on us, and he might have overheard us tell some pretty important information. So we're disposing of the evidence. He kind of touches his snout by eating him. No one will know, especially Rask, because, well, he'll be in our guts and then coming out of our, well, the other end, you know.
It was certainly a good plan. I'm very glad we managed to put a stop to it. Now, what is it that he overheard? And I would kind of lay the blade of my short sword on his shoulder, sort of just against his neck, but not kind of pressing, but just a reminder that it's there.
Oh, well, I don't think I've got the appetite to tell you, well, to eat you all if I tell you.
Well, alternatively, we could tell Rask everything that you've been doing about how you've been letting spies in and leave it up to her how to deal with you.
Right, look,
If you'd
okay,
rather.
okay, look. Okay, so the boss, Rask, she's very clever sorceress, and well, we're all part of her mercenary group, and she knows that the big boss here, the dragon, Simo dear, if you heard, the dragon has a hoard of most precious treasure. A hoard, yes. And Rask is cunning. She got an audience with Simon Deer, and using her magics latent within her draconic blood, she managed to pacify Cymadear and bound through arcane means. Now, I don't understand how or why, but all I know it is, and she is asking where the treasures are, and all we have to do is, well, patrol around looking for spies and making sure they don't get all of the information I've just told you. Oh,
Don't worry, we can keep a secret.
good. Can I go now, please?
Oh no, you've not tried your berries and nuts and fungus yet.
You did eat all your rations, though.
Oh yeah.
I'm a bit full.
I'm sure you have a little bit of room left.
How's the Dadger folk now? If I haven't tied him, is he?
Yeah, he's a little shaken. You can see that humanoid. You have spent some time in Scratch, so you'd be very aware that such inhabitants live throughout the entirety of Rotwood, and he sort of thank you, thank you. They
All right, friend.
well,
Okay.
now yes. Many thanks to your timely interventions.
Yes, it was lucky we arrived.
Yes. Oh,
What's your name?
my name is Dylan. I am
Hello, Tim.
damned. Yes, damned.
Yes. Okay. I'm Birgitt, and these are my friends. I'm sure they'll introduce themselves once they've finished talking with this creature. And we've just been trying to find out a little bit about what's going on in this bog. Follow the tracks.
Yes, well, it's all their fault. They have come here, and I overheard them say pretty much what he's told you. He's telling you the truth. I can tell you that much. They caught me, though. I did try to lose them, and well, they caught me. And yes, their clever plan was to, can you believe it, eat me, so that this Rask wouldn't get to know that I had snuck up upon them. It's because of Cymadear, you see. Cymadear has gone missing, and the great beasts of the bog, uncalled, unthreatened by the words of Cymadear, they are beginning to rise again and cause great harm to Scratch and the dam, and well, other places as well. So
I see. The bog needs the dragon as a
the dragon is,
ecosystem.
she ensures the balance. Yes, and balance is important. Balance is all out now. All out.
Well, it sounds like from what he was saying that she can be freed. So we'll look into it.
Will you? Really? I know an entrance to where
Oh.
she lairs, Cymadear. One of them anyway.
Oh well, it'd be brilliant if you could point us that direction, show us.
Mordai will lean down to the scout. Oh dear, this does seem to make you rather superfluous.
Womp womp.
What? You don't need me anymore. Excellent. Well, I'll be off then.
I'm not sure that's the plan.
Okay,
Can I attempt?
I'll
We've
try.
got some rope here. We could tie him up.
Try your nuts if you really want.
Can I try and knock him out?
Yes, you don't need to roll for this. He's in effect surrendered to you if you want to render him unconscious. It's
Yes.
a simple action really. As you strike him, and he slumps to the ground. He's badly wounded as well.
Sorry, I thought that was probably quicker and easier. Maybe we tie him so he can't go finding anybody when he wakes up, and our new friend here could help us along.
Oh,
Yes, we don't want him to let anyone know before we've actioned whatever rescue we're going to do.
Yes.
you are most kind. Birgitt, I have your name already. And he kind of goes around and he's got these sort of two sort of smallish pink hands. And he kind of wants to shake your hands. He's quite timid, only standing maybe about 3.5 feet tall. He's got a sort of black and white fur upon him. Definitely a badger folk. Um, but he's keen to know your names and make introductions and very much thank you for your timely actions. For one way or another, he did not think he was going to see the next dawn.
Well, my young friend, Ardan, Alsalis, and glad to help. And if you could return the favor, I think you said you knew the way we need to go next. That would be useful to tell us.
It is a little distance, but the elders of the damned have occasionally visited Simadea, and it is challenging. Normally, Simadea is a marsh dragon, you see, and they have the ability to burrow through the sod, and much of the lair is is underwater, the fetid swamp waters. Um, I'm not entirely sure you are going to be able to navigate through the lair. Uh, oh, of course. How silly of me. Um, are any of you skilled in the ways of sort of herbs of flora? There is some fungi that grows, worm mallow, that might help you. Um, I know roughly what it looks like, but I'm no expert. I have heard of it.
Oh, that's fascinating. Birgit has medicine, but not nature. So if it's come up in that context, you may
Yeah, I
come
mean,
across
it
it, or at
has.
least be able to prepare it.
Yeah. How about the rest of you? You can have this conversation whilst you're making your way through the bog, but Dylan seems to be convinced that uh, it's going to be a difficult journey throughout the lair of Simadea if you are unable to hold your breath for a concerted amount of time.
Well, I'm no use at finding things that grow. I'm better when they've been cooked. What about you, my musical friend, or the weaver? What's either of you any good at spotting
I
fungus?
heard many stories about great fauna, but I'm not hugely skilled on it. I certainly give it a go.
I think, like you, Arden, I know fungi when they are constrained by my plate. Beyond that, I regret my understanding is limited.
Okay, this is going to be challenging for you then. But
Mm.
challenges are often overcome by you acting as a group and working together. So as there is no individual amongst you that feels fully confident in the ability to locate this, and it sounds that time indeed is a degree pressing. This will be a group challenge. Dylan will help guide you with it as well. So I'm going to ask each of you to choose a skill that you think is appropriate towards trying to locate this or identify it amongst this terrible bog. And we'll run through all of you. We'll do it in the order of you on Fantasy Grounds. So we'll start off with you, Ardan. Assuming that you want to take part, the more of you that take part, it lowers the DC.
Can I give Arden an inspiration?
You can bardically inspire people, but that will be the thing that you are doing as opposed to taking a skill check instead. So would you prefer to do that, or would you prefer to do a skill check instead? Yeah.
Let's
Decisions,
roll a
decisions.
d4 and go. If it's even, I'll do a skill check.
It's a very good
Okay,
way.
I will inspire.
It's a very good way of deciding sometimes if you can't do it, rather than suffer from player paralysis. Just roll a dice and let us move on. Perfect. So you're going to inspire Ardan. What is your bardic dice currently? I'm assuming a d6.
Yes, that's right.
Perfect. So Ardan, you are inspired for 10 minutes. It makes sense that you use it on this skill check, but you don't have to. It's not
Yeah.
automatic. Ardan, what are you going to do?
Okay. So if I can propose something a little bit odd.
I love odd.
I mean, it's not very odd, but maybe.
I'm just disappointed
My
now.
travel.
You raise my expectations, and then
Yes. So I would like to think back over because of my my noble background and the training that I've received. I'd like to propose that I can make a history check to see if I remember any teachings about signs of spotting things like interesting flora and fauna, signs of things that are safe to eat and not safe to eat, and things that may have interesting and medicinal properties, and see if that helps in the hunt for this obscure, strange fungus.
absolutely. That sounds perfectly rationalised for me. Yeah, give us history. You can add, after you've rolled it, a d6 should you choose to.
Okay, I will see how this goes. Nope, that didn't work. Roll it. There we go. Yeah, I
Nicely.
think I'm going to
10.
add a d6 to that, just
Okay.
in case.
Oh, nice. So just for those of you who can't see the dice rolls, the history roll was 10 and the inspired roll was 5, making a total of 15, which is a solid roll at the levels that you all are. Okay, Birgitt.
Okay, so Birgit will use medicine, as I said. She's had experience in finding herbs and picking them out from the poisonous ones, at least.
Okay, perfect. So give us a medicine roll. Okay, a straight roll. You are proficient with medicine and you ended up with a total of 13. Okay, it's you are moving forward with this. We are going to need more die to finalize this. What are you bringing to this group effort?
The power of cantrips is what I'm bringing to this effort. Did Dylan say that he knew roughly what these looked like, but had never particularly seen them?
Yes.
So in a strange fungal criminal lineup, Mordai will use minor illusion and be as a sketch artist, but for fungi. till he
Amazing.
recognises that's the one. That's the one that did it. So he goes more of a cap, different colour, shade bluer, until that he feels certain, and will use that to show to the others in their actual making of a skill check.
Okay, that sounds very good. So what I would like you to do instead, and what we'll do is not give advantage to the two people that have rolled because they have already rolled. But if you are successful in your recreation using minor illusion of these things, I will lower the DC. So with you using your illusions to create uh, the appearance of these things, I'm more than happy for you to do a spell casting roll, so that'd be your charisma and a d20. Or if you have an appropriate skill, I'm more than happy for you to use that instead.
No, looking at my skill set, unless I'm attempting to intimidate it, sleight of hand it, or deceive the fungi. No, but what he will do is, before making this roll, if he may,
Yep.
because it opens up lots of fun for you, he will call down on the powers of the magic that infests his soul and ask for tides of chaos to give himself advantage on this roll.
Perfect.
You can now throw stuff at me anytime I touch a spell.
Yes, I love that. So, as you call down the tides of chaos, have you got a description of how and why? Normally with sorcerers, it's infused in their blood, isn't it? Does anything visually show when you call down this tides of chaos?
I think as he is creating pictures of fungi, his hands go out as he is creating them, and as he rapidly goes through picture after picture after picture of these fungi, altering them, you can see his curled ram-like horns begin to slowly uncurl until they rise up, and electricity goes between them as he is a complete ham.
Perfect. I love it.
Entirely inappropriate for I'm creating a picture of a fungus, but you know.
No, I love that description. Thank you very much for it. So you have advantage on this roll, d20 plus, I think with sorcerers, it's charisma, isn't it?
So I do an ability check with advantage, I think,
Yeah,
isn't it? So
that's
that
fine.
should give me a plus. Ooh,
It's okay. It's a good job you called forth the tides of chaos there, as you dropped a natural 1 but retained a 9 plus 2 and 11. This is good. It's hard and it takes that most precious of resources, time. But without Dylan explaining that you might need these, well, it could have been disastrous for you. You are moving towards the one of the known entrances of Simodea's lair, and um, with all of your knowledges, investigations, creating of ozone with the electricity between your horns, you manage to gather. Now I'm going to let fate take chance here um, for it was a success. I'm going to say you have managed to gather 2d4's worth of worm mallow. Who wants to? I think it should be Mordai with the tides of chaos. Can you roll
I would
2d4? Yeah,
more die. Maybe 3 or 4d4, please. So it's 2d4.
2d4. Yes. Can
I
you get
deeply
enough?
apologise to everybody. Oh wow, that was far too strong a throw. Let's try and get it. It just flew out. There we go, more gentle.
Oh, look at that! So you have tapped into chaos here. I wish people that were watching could see this. I'm going to have to do something about that for our scene. But Mordai's just rolled 2 4s, meaning there is enough 2 doses each. What I'm going to do in terms of this for our brave adventuring company is I'm going to pop them into the party sheet. And I'm going to pop 8 of those, so you can grab as many as you want really, but technically 2 each sounds sensible. You can move that from the party sheet across to your character sheet now. And if you look at the description, it fundamentally reads, I'll put this up so that everybody in chat, you can breathe underwater for an hour after eating this herb. Eating or administrating a herb takes an action. Perfect. Well done, adventuring company. After you've managed to do this, it is only but another 15 minutes before you manage to make it towards the next location, which is indeed the entrance to the lair itself. Let me call this up. Okay, so hopefully everybody in chat can see this as well. I will just double check that. Yeah, we've got a new. So as you move through, you have sort of arrived at what appears to be what was once a set of ruins. There are but a few walls left now and a number of pillars, but the most obvious feature of this area is this sort of rectangle, partially walled, partially collapsed pit, which one assumes leads directly down to where you need to go. Of course, as always, you are not alone though. You see that there are a couple more scouts moving around here. Let me just move that up a bit. But as well as the 2 scouts that are around, there is a incredibly large, or maybe not. It's all going wrong. Okay, I've got line of sight now. Let us drop this one down here. That's better. There is an incredibly large Dragorakai that is standing on a flight of stairs that raises up, and he's looking down into the pit itself. Let me get you onto the map. They, of course, once again haven't noticed you at the moment, but that is perhaps only a matter of time if Moonlight gets his way.
Well, that is the plan, yes.
So I'm going to share this with you all, so you should be able to see what is going on. It's quite a large area. There is the walled pit here. You can see the wall to it. You can see this bruiser, this Dragorakai bruiser. I think I might have an image to share with you for the bruiser. It looks very much like this. He's got 2 great weapons in his hand, and he's a large creature, much larger than the scouts, standing easily maybe 12, maybe 14 feet up, and he is broad. So they haven't noticed you, but you have been led here quietly, and Dylan kind of nervously sort of points you in that direction. It is down where you need to go. Down. It goes down a long way. I don't know if you have rope or another way of getting down there. It is, so I've been told, very far.
Well, thank you very much, Dylan. I wouldn't want you to get caught up in any fighting, maybe now is a good time for you to leave.
He nods. I will return to the dam, and I will speak with the elders. We will rally as many of our folk as we can, and attempt to come and help. We are not fighters, but now we know what has befallen Simadea. We must do our very best.
Well, very well. I would hope that we can take care of it, and I would not ask your people to go into danger. But if that's what you feel you should do, then of course I wouldn't stop you.
I will speak with the elders, and it will be their choice.
Certainly. Well, thank you.
And he looks very grateful. He kind of looks a little sad as well. You get the impression he doesn't think you're going to survive this. But what does he know?
Well, indeed.
And with that, he scurries out back into the mists and into the marsh itself. Okay, so you can see that there's a couple of scouts that are patrolling, and perhaps the real challenge is this bruiser that is high up on these steps overlooking this broken wall that drops down into the pit itself. At the moment, none of them have noticed you.
So I was thinking we could go in and disguise self and maybe call for sort of aid as one of the creatures one of the scouts we disposed of. Try and draw a few of them away. Perhaps 3 of you could sneak in. Once I've drawn them a distance away, I go invisible, loop back round and see if I can catch up.
Splitting them would be useful. I'm not sure about leaving on your own, but of course you have these excellent talents, so I'm sure you could handle it.
You are a talented individual. I guess the concern would be that puts a lot of risk on you. It seems a little unfair.
Oh, they look to be quite spread out. We could perhaps try something a little more local, make a smaller sound, see if we can get them to wander
Well-
over and investigate, take them one by one.
Or could we make a sound, enough of a sound in the right direction that they were led away? Or they will all go to investigate and we could just scurry on in?
Yes.
It's not something I can do unless
I
I
think
throw
there is
something.
a potential they'll come from behind, though. We don't know what we'll face in the lair, and if the badger folk come back, I wouldn't want them to be faced with at least that bruiser. If we can lure the others away and then attack the bruiser, or lure the others and then, as you say, attack those one by one, I'd be happier, I suppose.
Well, indeed. Well, then, perhaps we, yes, try and lure the little ones off and then take on the big fella.
So, what type of noise do you think would most attract them? I can.
Perhaps another badger. They seemed keen.
Yes, it might appeal to their stomach, if nothing else.
Should the rest of us lie in ambush somewhere and have him lured into us?
Question for the GM.
Yep.
The bruiser is up on the steps, you said.
Yeah.
Can, from where we are, I know you've got line of sight on the map, can we glean, do we have an idea from where we are if they were to descend to jungle floor, or swamp floor rather, where they'd go? Or can we not really see that from where we are?
There seems to be a set of walls, ruined walls here, that are kind of blocking your sort of line of sight. You can certainly see that the bruiser has wings, which is somewhat challenging because doesn't mean that he needs to clamber down. He could actually take
Yeah.
flight.
Yes, that's unhelpful.
And all of you are aware that certain Dragora Kai do have wings, so are capable of flight.
Okay.
So I think I'm confident in saying that I can produce a fair image of an injured, weeping badger folk some 30 feet away from where I stand. Do you have a position you would like that to be? Please indicate. Or I can throw fire at the one with the wings. I mean, I don't mind.
Well, perhaps if it's 30 feet or so from, or it's near where they are, and then it runs north, and they start to follow, and we can attempt to attack as they pass.
Forgive me, I think you're confusing me with someone who was given high-level illusion spell slots, and not merely a cantrip. Mine can be
Well,
stationary, upon which I will add thaumaturgy to add the icing of the crying on the badger-shaped cake. Alternatively, I can make myself look like a badger, in which case the weeping will be real as I run past them. It's entirely up to you. As one of them hits me,
that
in which case infernal fire will spread the weeping somewhere else.
That does sound rather exciting.
it does.
Oh, I guarantee it's terribly far more exciting for me than it will be for you. But if you wish it, I can badger folk and run in a direction, making appropriate sounds. Looks a mussy! I'm a badger folk! Oh, I don't know whether that will work. Perhaps I'll just wail.
Well, this sounds by far the best plan we have today.
As much as it pains me to say it, I think it does.
Oh, be honest, you're just intrigued to see how long I last before I
Does
am shot
any,
by arrows and engulfed.
I
does,
mean,
does anyone have anything that's locked?
it's locked.
Well, often the best stories are hidden somewhere, so I have a spell that helps me open things that's quite loud and might draw them away without having to endanger ourselves or rely on illusion.
I have nothing useful in that sense.
I
I
fear it's
feel
quite
like
easy to open my tinderbox. I don't feel that would be any great challenge to you.
I feel like our best bet is to try and draw some of them away, and then if we are most concerned about the big fellow, attack them first.
I am happy to draw some away if you indicate the flight path of my terrifying fleeing. I should also remind you, apparently there's a very large drop, and I believe the only one with feather fall. So I do encourage you to keep me alive.
I'd rather not put any of us in immediate chasing danger, if only so we can all be raining attacks on the big fellow.
Yes, I mean, obviously I can heal, but I expect he will do some damage.
How far away can you make a noise?
30
Mordai?
feet.
30 feet.
30 feet is the distance at which I can cast an illusion, and also my thaumaturgy can make a wailing sound.
Just the sound. Don't worry about an image. Just the sound. How far away?
30 feet, again, I get.
Just 30 feet. Okay.
The universe seems to limit me in this way.
Well, that's fair.
So you begin to see as they patrol, because you've taken a little while. There's another one that seems to sort of circle up here. This one is coming down here. The scouts seem to be have got a degree of a patrol route. They're not going particularly far away, whereas the Bruiser most definitely is stationary, kind of observing. So, because you spent a fair amount of time talking, you can have observed a couple of sort of rotations of this patrol that is going on. There does seem to be only 2 scouts and 1 Bruiser. We spent perhaps a good maybe 10 minutes or so having this discussion hidden, working out your best plans. So you can choose when you want to strike as well if you want, or attempt to infiltrate, or a number of other things.
Yeah, so it looks like there's that one going around the edge goes a little further out occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whilst I've positioned your characters where they are, obviously you can retreat and come back in on another side of the map should you wish to, without drawing any attentions. But you are aware that Simodea is, well, perhaps in danger or threat.
Yeah.
And you're also aware that at any moment there could well be other patrols like the one that you met that might be returning to this place.
Is in the routine that we've watched,
Mhm.
is there a gap where like from the side that we're on now, there's a clear bit where it's just the 2 that are patrolling are both on the far side from where we are? Is there a point at which that happens?
Not unless you make it. They seem to be kind of, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and that seems to be deliberate. But with your observations, you do notice that the southeast seems to be sort of blocked line of sight wise from the other side, the rest of the map. So this area here seems to be a bit of a blind spot, and there are a number of large pillars that could even, if you got lucky, block the line of sight of the Bruiser as well. Would you like me to move you around to that side so you can take a
I feel
look
like
for
with all
yourselves?
of the waffling and the talking, we probably would have scouted a little
Yeah,
bit. So I'd be grateful for that
absolutely.
if everybody else agreed.
Yeah.
Well, it just gives you another view. You don't have to sort of stay here. But this is now sort of presenting it here, and you can kind of see now it opens up most of the map, but sort of this area here is blocked as a single Dracorai scout sort of wanders past. So that might be a potential chance for you if you act fast or do something.
I think it's the best shot we've got. As I said, we're pressed for time.
Yeah.
Quite so.
So there's
Let's lure this guy in and.
There's a large boulder here. I mean, you could be sort of lurking behind here, absolutely. So, enough talk. How are you going to do this? You could, from that place, have a surprise round, charge forward, do whatever you want. But obviously, the commotion that you make will alert the others. Or you could try and lure him closer to you subtly. There is a chance that he might just shout out and go, I heard something, alert. So it's a risk, whatever you're going to take, but a choice needs to be made if you are indeed to save Simodea.
If you want to remain silent, and I can't guarantee it will work, could attempt to put him to sleep. Since there is only the one, the spell would be entirely concentrated on him.
Possibly.
I wonder whether we might not just try and get past between and sneak our way in between rotations. Wait for this one to pass and just dash and sneak in as quickly and as quietly as we can.
Those two things don't often go together. Quickly and quietly are not two words.
You have
If
very
we-
little faith in me, and I'm very upset by
I'd love to see it.
that.
I genuinely would love to see it. Go for it.
I
Like I
can.
said, I'm
Or
sorry about leaving the bruiser behind. We can try it if we think that's the only way to go.
no, I will bow to the rest of the group by all means. We could,
Want
if we're
to-
behind a giant boulder, we could lure someone else in.
If you want to sneak past, I can always disguise self as one of them. Distract one of the patrolling guards while the three of you circle around, then go invisible.
We don't want to use too many spells, though. Well, save spells for later, I mean.
Yes, knock and invisibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to try and lure it then with an illusion.
Let's see if we can lure it in and then swiftly dispatch it.
Okay. So this
Okay.
is going to be a minor illusion. Is that what you're going to do?
Yes. Okay.
Perfect.
Minor
Okay.
illusion of an injured badger folk making howling sounds. Where would
Okay.
you like it placed?
So yeah, if you indicate where you want to do it on the map, what I can do is I can draw a little square for you, sort of like that, and you tell me.
Where do people want it?
Tell me where you want it.
It's your
Anybody?
spell.
Yes, but I am not a tactician. I am a person of
I
theatre.
think.
Slightly down, I guess, from where we are.
Yes, that
And
seems.
so that we, as it comes down, we can.
Yeah.
It will be focused looking that way, and then
Yeah,
we
we
can attack.
sort of come across towards
Yeah.
it.
Andy, quick question.
Yeah.
So far, what's been the loudest natural sort of noise we've heard in the swamps, like a cry of a creature or a?
Yeah, there's been some quite terrifying sounds with Simo Deer being out of the picture. There are things that you perhaps best don't want to think of that have been making sounds. So you could replicate something like this.
I will do once the stabbing starts.
Yeah.
That will probably be my action once the stabbing starts. But for
Okay.
now, it is just the cry of a poor injured badgered folk.
Okay. So what I'm going to have to do here is you succeed on this minor illusion. There is no challenge to that. But I mean, he's scouting. I need to know whether he's going to alert the others or perhaps be tempted to take the glory for himself. So I want to know how convincing this is and whether he gets lulled into it. So I think the best way to do this is to give you the choice, Mordai. You can again do, because it's magic, spellcasting roll. But I'm more than happy for some kind of deception instead, if you prefer to do something like that. The choice is yours.
That would be better, both roleplay and indeed numerically. So I'm quite happy to go with deception. I think the image would have the poor creature is badly injured, but is taking some comfort in the fact that he has a pie, since that seemed to be the main focus of interest of our last doers. So we'll make a deceptive pie roll.
Cool. Give us a roll.
Ooh,
Okay.
alas, the pie.
No, 15 is good. 15 is good. You have to remember that you do not have the power of gods at the moment. It's difficult sometimes, but you are of the 3rd level of experience, and a 15 is very passable. But if only if it was against a difficulty challenge, which it's not. The steel will of this scout is going to see whether it is tempted by it, which is going to be an opposed roll with disadvantage, and it's a good job as he only gets an 11. So there is no threat here. He doesn't feel threatened. Kind of looks, and it's an opportunity for this mercenary Dragora Kai to maybe find out what this injured badger folk has upon him, or for him to gain glory in the eyes of his mistress as he comes over to it. You do know, Mordecai, that as soon as he touches the illusion, it will obviously be proven to be an illusion. I'm going to ask you all to roll initiatives. I'm also going to say you have a surprise round. Depending on how rapidly you deal with this individual, will determine whether the others are aware of you or not. It also depends on your actions. For instance, if someone casts Thunder Wave, it will be fairly obvious stuff is going on. Okay, so at the top of the round, we do indeed have Moonlight on Waves. What would you like to do? You have a full turn ahead of you. I'm just going to move this down here.
To charge it and attempt to stab it with a rapier.
Charge. Move forward. Is it a charge where do you have a battle song?
I think I might be going to start strumming and then, oops, forget.
Okay.
After a first couple of notes,
Okay.
stop.
Perfect. I shall make a note of that. Very good. So because you haven't stealthed forward, you attack him. You do have surprise, but you're not hidden, so you don't have advantage on this attack as he kind of looks up, but you do go to strike him, and you do indeed hit him with your rapier, nicking him. Very nice. And then none of these get chance to attack for the moment. Ardan, it is your go.
Okay, conscious that I have a tendency to clank when I run. I will have readied my longbow, and I will take a shot
Nice.
at him.
Okay. Can you give me, before you make your attack, because you were all in effect hidden, can you give me a stealth roll? It will, unfortunately, I would imagine, be at disadvantage, but it's worth a go. These are not the most perceptive of creatures, so you might actually be attacking with advantage.
That roll. I did not roll. All right, bear with
That's
me.
okay. No, that's cool.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Yep. So you've only got a 7, which unfortunately is not enough. So as you go to shoot your bow, your armor moves together, and you can still attack. Obviously, you just don't have advantage on your attack.
That's okay. I will attempt to shoot him in the throat regardless.
You hit him.
Hey. Okay.
Nice. Two very rapid attacks. The bruiser hasn't heard anything at the moment, and we move to Birgitt.
Okay. Move up and smack it.
Okay. So again, you can't really creep forward at that range, so you move forward rapidly. Raise your mace. And
Then it rolled onto
unfortunately,
the card.
yeah, You swing and you miss. Oh dear, this is where things can go a little bit wrong. Mordai, what would you like to do?
So the scout 30 feet away. So seeing how distressingly healthy this creature looks,
Yeah.
knowing that he seems to be moving like he's in treacle at the moment, so may not be able to provide the covering sound should it decide to shriek next round. He will pick a point 20 feet behind the creature,
Okay.
moving away in a diagonal line down, and will cast Sleep,
Oh, nice. So yeah,
having seen it beaten up a bit,
yeah.
and hope that's enough.
You're not trying to get your companions in it, basically.
So it's a diagonal line back. I think
Yeah.
it's a 90 feet range, so he's only 30 away, so it should be fine. I
And
think.
at what level are you casting this enchantment?
Let's do it at level 2.
Okay.
Andy, I'm casting a leveled spell, Andy.
I
It's a
know.
leveled spell,
I know.
what I am casting. So,
I
I click on it and then just add 2 extra dice.
Well, no, because the way that it's programmed on Fantasy Grounds is you can't
Right.
do that because it's
Oh.
Sleep is one of these crazy spells that is layered in the fact that you take it off the creature has the lowest hit points first. So all you need to do is roll, I believe, first level it's 5d8, second level you get 2 more d8, so 7d8. And then we compare that to how many hit points this individual has.
All right. So I don't need to cast it at all.
No, you just pick the dice up,
Cool.
cross your spell slot off, and roll it in the chat box.
So that is 78, yeah.
Yep, please. Nice, some good there. 34 points. This individual does not have 34 hit points remaining, and a few things happen here because, well, we are well into the session now, and I might not get a chance again to do a wild magic surge. You indeed did do Tides of Chaos. So I'm just seeing if there is we do indeed have the table here for you. This could be very, very interesting. So first and foremost, you will be pleased to know this individual just falls down, kind of in a deep slumber, provided no one uses an action to wake them or they are damaged, which is technically an action to wake them. It will stay asleep for, I believe, a minute. But something else happens to Mordai. What indeed is this that happens? Can you give me a roll on the Wild Surge table, please? That is not a very good table, is it, for some reason?
It's not opening.
No, it's... I thought that that was going to be programmed. That is amazing. I tell you what, we're going to go analog. I have the player's handbook in front of me here. If you just roll percentile dice, and I will 38.
That is a
38. If you are watching in chat, get out your player's handbooks. Something has happened. It's okay. It is a very rapid response to someone who knows how to use Fantasy Grounds faster than me. And indeed, a 38, 1d6 flumps controlled by the DM appear in unoccupied space within 60 feet of you and are frightened of you. They vanish after a minute. So suddenly, all of these flumps And flumps are well known for communicating through their colours rather than sounds. So I'm going to say that you've got away with it, you pesky characters. You have rendered the scout unconscious. Silently, you haven't disturbed the others, and these flumps cinematically are going to float around. They're frightened of you. They can't move closer than you, but they are incapable of giving the game away of it, and very rapidly they will disappear. But before they do, you need to decide what you are going to do with this individual that you have rendered asleep. So we're technically still in initiative. So what do you do, Mordai, when the flumps appear, and for the rest of your turn, basically?
Oh, and we'll head over, having a sort of wave of flumps moving to one side or the other.
Yeah, they
50.
disperse. They don't want anything to do with you.
While pulling out a length of rope.
Okay,
That'll be the end of his action, but it is there if anyone wants to use it.
perfect. So if it's your intentions to bind this creature, it's fairly easy to do, fairly easy to render them incapable of moving. So we'll come out of initiatives. Well done. That was very successful. I was not hoping for the fireball to be centered upon you. Not at all. Okay, so one scout down, but you are aware that very rapidly the other scout's going to be appearing relatively fast. All of that took no more than 12 seconds. Where are you pulling Scout 1? You're also aware that when Scout 1 doesn't appear, they will be aware that something is perhaps up.
Well, if we can take out this scout as he comes round, and then we only need to pull this one out of the way enough that he doesn't notice before we jump him, I guess.
So this scout
I think
is
we would.
coming round. Obviously, one assumes you've moved
Yeah, we would
behind
have
this
dragged.
rock.
Hold him behind the rock.
Yeah,
Here we go again.
Okay, this is good tactics.
if it ain't broke.
Are you going to try and do the same thing again?
Yes, but with a different badge of folk. I mean,
Of
one
course.
doesn't wish to just sort of just repeat things. I mean,
Sounds
Test
like
your
perhaps
Give this
artistic
one a
range,
pasty
you know.
instead.
you are
yes.
taking lessons from Moonlight with artistry here now. I need the same roll off you again then, please. The deception roll. And for the moment, this scout is incapacitated. So if you give me a deception roll.
As the other one comes round, are the flumps still around? Or does it take longer than a minute, just out of interest?
I will give you cinematic narrative, whatever you think is funnier and more appropriate for the table.
Plumps all in this guy's face, like, what?
Just sort of floating around going, what?
I mean, you could use the flumps as the draw. Flumps are well known to be sort of non-hostile and strange. It is up to you. I say you have cinematic narrative.
I think he will have tried to shoo them away.
Okay.
I don't want any flumps expanding themselves and looking angrily at me and giving the game away.
Yeah,
So
that's okay. They're only around for a minute, so by the time he does walk around, we can easily say they have popped out of existence. And
we'll see.
Yeah.
Do another deception roll.
Yeah.
Oh well, see, one never does the same thing twice.
Well, it is an opposed roll and it does have disadvantage, but we will see. No, the game is
Would
up.
I cutting words it?
This is not a saving, so this is an ability check. Can cutting words do ability checks? I think they can, but just have a look at that.
So, creature within 60 feet makes an attack, ability check, or damage roll.
Yeah, so you can cut in words this. It is an ability check. So what is that, reducing it by a bardic dice? Is that how cutting words happen?
I believe so.
So you need to roll a d6.
Reaction. Yeah, okay, bardic die and a reaction.
That is fine. Taking it down. So what do you do to enhance this individual? You see this scout turn, ready to. You can see the words "boss." Something's up here, but those words never come out of his mouth. Why? How do you inspire
Nothing is coming to mind.
the illusion? Maybe you see that he is about to give the game away, and you whisper some words of performance across to Mordecai. Get it to get some gold out or something. Mordecai.
Pie splits open, revealing gold.
Yeah, and with that, he sees the gold, and that is enough. You see kind of like cartoon sort of dollar signs in the eyes of the Dragorakai scout begin to spin. So he doesn't want to share that with the boss. No, this is all mine. And he moves rapidly towards the illusion again. Well played, adventurers. Well played. Can you all give me initiatives? You have surprise on this one now as well. Taking them out one at a time. These can hit quite hard, and they do have multi-attack, so it is very sensible of you being cautious. Birgitt's just initiative off you, and we are good to go. But we'll start this off with Ardan. Yeah, Ardan.
Same again, going to try
It's
and
just-
attack from a distance.
Okay, so you're hidden, so you can give me that stealth roll if you're going to attack from that. You don't need much more than you rolled last time, to be honest. Their passive perception is only 9. This is why I was asking for a roll. If it was like if they were very perceptive. No, they hear you. They turn, but before they can shout out or anything, you release your arrow.
Yeah.
Give him a target.
I think I have.
No, I can quickly do it for you if you want. Sometimes it's you've done it. Oh, no, you haven't. Okay.
Is that done?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
This time you hit. Very nice.
Excellent. Lovely. Okay. And then roll for some damage.
Oh, max damage as well, wounding him.
Nice.
Not quite heavily, but a solid 10 points of damage. Anything else you wish to do? Or are you happy what you're doing at the moment?
No, I think I'm basically just making sure that I'm not in anybody's way if anybody's going to move past me or cast through me effectively.
Perfect.
So I don't think, yeah, I would just, if I need to shift slightly out of people's way, I will do.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We move to Mordai.
Ooh, let's see if this will work. So Mordai will make some sigils in the air. Actually, let me just check something about a spell before I just make.
No, that's fine.
No, yes to do that. Okay. Well, let's try. So, Mordecai will jog forward, holding the hem of his cloak up, his robes up in the mud. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oops. Look shocked, and then step back. see what happens.
All right. I see. You're baiting him. Now, I, as a GM, know what you're trying to do. Unfortunately,
It's the biggest damage spell I have,
yeah,
but it means they have to hit me.
the scout is not that wise, as we have discovered multiple times here. And you are an enemy. He's just been shot in the knee for a heavy amount of damage, and he's not going to let you do this. As you kind of stumble into him, kind of almost pretending and staggering back, his sort of big grin comes upon his face as he attempts to slice you with the short sword, and unfortunately misses you.
Oh, for goodness sake, try harder.
What did I get on that dice roll? That is a 10. You have +2 to your dexterity. If your intention was to try and take a wound from him, I would say you could forgo your dexterity bonus to your armor class, which means
that would bring it down.
Because what you are technically trying to do is run into his blade, basically, rather than avoid his blade. And your dexterity as armor class is you trying to dodge out of the way of it. So,
Okay.
if you're happy for him to hit you,
Yep.
he would hit you because he rolled a 10 on the dice. He hasn't fumbled it or dropped his knife or anything. Okay, so this scout cuts you for minimal damage, 2 points of damage.
I feel like he sort of went like that, and I sort of moved.
Yeah, it's like, no, try hard. No, just like here, cut me here. Right, and
Left. Further left.
we pass turns now, don't we?
No, we do not. I use my reaction
Oh dear.
to unleash the most powerful spell I have, which wasn't loaded in. I had to drag it over.
Yeah.
So I'm selecting him, and I get him to make a dex saving throw as blasts of fire begin to erupt from Mordai's skin.
Okay,
It's his
so
heritage.
his dex save is a straight 14.
So he will take half of this damage. So is that? I was going to press the button and get him to save. So shall I just roll 3d10 in your?
Sorry, I thought I didn't know it was set up. So it is up to you. You can either roll that or you can force him to make the saving throw yourself.
No, I'll stick with what it is and just roll 3d10, and you can
halve it.
Yep.
We can do math. That's 15, so that's 7 points of damage that you've done to him. He is now heavily wounded. I mean, I'm sure your companions have seen you do this trick before, the old one too. And he just
probably
is
glance
shocked.
over the shoulder, going, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Terrible.
As he is a little shocked as the infernal fire begins to burn and consume him. Birgitt, your go.
Okay, well, I'm going to hit him with a more divine flame. I'm going to use Sacred Flame.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So yeah, you can force him to make the dex save. He does succeed, and because it is a cantrip, I think unfortunately that means he saves, does he not? There is no damage.
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah. So do you want to move or anything, or are you happy where you are?
I'll stay where I am for now.
Then we move to Moonlight on Waves.
This is not good. 10, 15, 20, 20. I'm ignoring about whether I stab him or whether I just try and cover his mouth.
Okay.
And I think I'll just stab him.
Yeah, he's got a large maw full of sharp teeth. And unfortunately, you miss. Okay, so this is a surprise round. He catches his breath and realizing he's hard done by, he shouts, "Boss, boss, uh, we've got, I don't know what they are, but they're hurting me, boss." And with that, he is going to disengage and he's going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Does not have fly, so that is all he does there. But you can hear the bruiser begin to pay attention, although you can't see the bruiser at the moment. Ardan, you'll go.
Finish.
Okay. I would like to step out to about there-ish.
Yeah.
And I would like to try and shoot him in the back of the head, please.
Okay, give us an attack. Oh, it is a miss. Okay. Is that your go?
I will swear quietly under my breath.
Perfect. We move to Mordai.
I know it's a right so and so when that happens. It probably happened to me, so I better do this instead. And I'll cast magic missile at him.
Okay. Ridulf, would you like to do the one roll and multiply it by the number of darts? Or would you like to bing, 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 roll it and see what each missile does?
I think I'll just roll 1d4.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So 3 of these.
Yeah. So you've rolled a 2, but it does have +1, so that is 3. So 3 threes are 9. That is correct, isn't it?
Yep.
A 9 is enough to take him down. Poof, poof, poof. But you are aware the bruiser has been alerted. We will stay in initiatives and you can finish your turn, Mordai. What are you planning on doing?
Right. I think just staying there.
Perfect.
I don't want to retreat, but we don't want to run forward into the open. So stay
No.
with the group.
Makes perfect sense. Birgitt, you'll go.
Sorry, that was me then. So, what's my range on this? 60. Okay, well, I will try again the same thing.
Perfect. Oh, sorry. The scout's actually dead. So.
Oh, sorry.
So,
oh, well, I hit that time. That's why.
So
He's
yeah,
dead.
yeah, he's on the floor as you just unleash
Oh,
this sacred flame at it, and it burns him even more. Makes you feel better. And it's always
yeah.
best to be sure you
Sure.
don't overly have another target at the moment.
No, that's fine. Move up then. We'll be ready for the bruiser.
Yeah, perfect.
Now, is bless a bonus or is that one an action?
Bless is an action, but if you wanted to cast it rather than your sacred flame, that fundamentally was fun but a bit of a waste, you are more than welcome to cast it now instead.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
So 3 creatures, which ones?
So it means you have to choose one and leave them out. Who's your favourites?
I'll leave Moonlight. No offense, because it's more attack focused.
It's fine. The story I told about your sister earlier, wasn't it?
Look, my sister wasn't wasn't a very nice person.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to target the other 3 of you, then you can apply the effect. Perfect. Somewhat rebuffed, Moonlight. It is your go now.
Very quickly, do you guys want to fight this, or shall I try and see if I can misdirect it?
I don't think if we have to. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have enough time to get away from it. So we should probably just engage.
You have
I think.
one captive, one corpse, no scouts at all. It's going to be very difficult to do anything here now. Plus, this scout that is now dead shouted out that you were here too.
Yes, my thoughts was disguising self as the other one and saying they've run into the forest.
Yeah.
But,
Or if there's any buffs you can do with bardic inspiration or anything like that.
There
use
are
them.
the fact that everybody else is in plain sight. And
They're not here, boss.
This, would this be enough foliage to sort of try and hide in?
yeah, there's a lot. I mean, you would be doing an Arnie from Predator here. There's a lot of horrible mud that you can get in. I would like to point out that being a cat folk, it'll all be clawing in your fur. I don't know how much you would like
I'm going
do
to
that.
dash to get out of this muddy area.
Okay, fair enough. So with that, you take the dash action, and it is indeed the bruiser. And the bruiser, as I said, can fly, and can fly very fast. You'll either be pleased or not pleased to hear, as he double moves, flies, and just lands in the middle of you. Yeah, no time for any shenanigans here. He doesn't have any ranged weapons, so he just kind of lands, and even the ground begins to crumble and shake. He clangs both sort of weapons together, and gets ready to rumble. And that is all he can do because he double moved with his fly there to ensure he could get to you. The scout is out of the fight, and we move to you, Ardan.
I would like, if it's okay, having once the other one was down, I would have then switched to my longsword, knowing that
Yep.
this was coming.
Yep.
I would like to make an attack with that.
Okay, so you
So I
charge
will move.
forward, meeting this thing flying down at you, crashing
Yeah.
into the soil. Okay, go for it. You now have bless upon you, and the bless helps you out no end as you strike at this beast.
Damage. Well, that's awful.
It is enough to kill any kind of commoner easily, but this is no commoner that you are facing now. This is a Dragora Kai bruiser, and he just smiles at you as you clip at his scales. Then we move to Mordai the Weaver.
Oh. Hmm. I think Mordai will summon some flame and point it at the Dragora bruiser in an aggressive manner.
Okay, lovely.
Yes, let's do that. Oh, well, there we go.
Yes, the tides of chaos and everything against you as you critically fail there. It kind of roars. You are no sorcerer. Rask is the sorcerer. Birgitt, you'll go.
Okay.
Things have just escalated.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
No, not in a good way. Sit back. I will try guiding bolt again.
Guiding bolt this time, yeah,
Yeah.
rather than sacred flame, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Not.
So yeah, if you target. Okay, so you targeted after the matter,
I know. Yeah.
but a 23 is definitely a hit. Again, the bless very much helping you out there, so you can do your guiding bolt damage to it. Oh, nice. That is a very nice 11 points of damage, and you can also apply the effect because guiding bolt gives the next attack advantage, as it is now shrouded in radiant fire.
Yep.
Perfect.
So
Is that you and done?
that's me. I'll stay out my leave for now.
Okay, this epic combat, as this shrugging it off, he's very keen to catch his breath from his charge forward and to grind the bones of Ardan into dust. But Moonlight, you get to go first.
I'm horribly offended you did not see me as the biggest threat and fly directly to me. Because of that, you should burn. I am going to try and hit it with a fairy fire.
Okay,
No.
so it succeeds throwing that off. Magic, none of you, no scales, no magic. Rask, Rask, Rask. Anything else you want to do, Moonlight?
Is this creature too big to flank?
No, you can put your lithe body in the way of it.
Should. Oh, did that not count as advantage? I guess if it's a saving throw.
Yeah, it's a saving throw, unfortunately. So it hasn't removed the effect upon him because
No.
it wasn't an attack. It's the next attack.
Yeah.
So we will see, but because it's a save, no advantage there. Okay, is that your go, Moonlight?
It is, yes.
Okay. Your puny magic, he kind of looks at you. I'll come to you in a minute. And he turns the sword to Ardan. And he swings the sword at Ardan. Yeah, that's all good. Oh, and it misses. That was a good job because he's got a second attack.
Yay.
He also misses. Wow. Again, chat. Yeah, you can see the. Well, you can't see, but the players can see the dice rolls. It does have a third attack though, and the third attack is the tail. I'm just double checking this. So I know that we created this, but yeah, 2 serrated sword attacks, or rather the 2 big sort of clubs that he's got, and then a tail attack. Tail attack can be against anybody. I think he's going to take it against you, Moonlight, due to the fact that he's missed Ardan twice. The tail swings at you and also misses. Oh, you bruiser, you bruiser are pathetic. Rask will have your guts.
Love it.
Ardan, it is your go. You do have advantage because of the guiding boat and advantage because of Moonlight flanking now. Unfortunately, it does not stack.
No, but I will take the advantage regardless. Yeah, I'm just going to take another strike with my longsword.
Oh, well done. You've hit him. Can you
Cool.
give me some damage, please? Very nice. He just shrugs that. You notice he's still not heavily damaged, but he's been taking these. Some of his scales are now chipped. He grits his teeth through his maw and looks at you, but yeah, his first attacks against you was not particularly good. Is that everything you want to do for the moment, Ardan?
Can I action search, please?
I would prefer you not to, but I mean, sort of within the rules, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Within Fancy Grounds, do I need to do anything to activate
No,
that?
no, you just basically can only action surge between rests, basically. So once it's used, but you can action surge.
Well,
You get the impression
yeah,
if this thing actually connects and hits you, it's gonna hurt.
yes, I'm not going to enjoy it very much at all, so I think I'm going to go for another one.
Now, I don't want to say this to you, but because of flanking, you will have advantage. So you can roll again to see. You've already hit, but you can see whether you get
So
a
yeah, it's an
critical hit.
18, but
So
yeah,
roll
let's
again,
see if
just
we
see
can
if you
do
get that natural 20. No, you haven't, but you've hit, so you can do damage. Like to play fair?
No, and I thank you for it.
Okay, and the dice have
Oh,
treated me, but it is now heavily damaged, you'd be pleased to know.
Good. Excellent.
Then we move down to Mordai. You seem to have retreated a little, Mordai.
Oh yes, felt he was being somewhat unpleasant and somewhat tiresome. All of these similar creatures going on and on and on about their sorceress and isn't she powerful? And well, really. And he makes a motor fire appear, and it grows to a much larger size, appearing as 3 large globules as he goes, well, I'm not too bad. Again, I'm now going to roll 3 ones. And throws Scorching Ray.
Oh, nice.
Who's had enough of this one.
Yeah.
So that's an attack. It's the first one
It
misses. Second one
How that hits.
doing some damage.
Very nice.
And the third one
Also hits.
all over the place there.
Yeah.
Or some more.
Very nice. He is now scorched, and you see many of his scales. The heat has basically caused them to crack, revealing kind of muscle beneath. He's most definitely seen better days. And is that your go, Mordai?
Yes, my go was indeed casting a 2nd level spell.
Excellent. Good to hear. Birgitt, your go.
Okay. I'm going to cheat and stay out of his way a bit. I will cast Sacred Flame.
Don't blame you. Call upon the divine. He manages to dodge it.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Not this time, and it is
13,
exactly
13, cheeky.
on the 13 and 13 on the dice rolls, everybody. Unlucky for some, and that some is you.
Yeah, lucky for him though.
Right. Anything else you'd like to do, Birgitt?
No, not really. Just keep out of the way. He's got those nasty swords.
It has, and we move to Moonlight.
Moonlight will just sort of tap him on the leg, take hold of a rapier and say, you pull it up like this, and then you stab like this into, somebody, not the air.
Wow.
Hopefully this is not my last phrase.
Unfortunately, that is not good enough, as he's still quite heavily armoured.
Yes, I go, not like this. Oh, that was my action.
Yes.
Oops.
Anything else you want to do? It seems the dice are back with me now.
So no.
No, he turns to Ardan, and once again the serrated sword swings down, missing serrated clubs rather. And missing again, he's getting vexed and frustrated now as he just doesn't seem to be able to land a blow. His tail swings round to that very sarcastic looking Tabaxi, and misses again. I quit. I quit.
No, he deals.
I quit. Very nice. Well played. You are safe. Yeah, he misses and he misses and he misses and he is so angry. Ardan, it is back to you.
I will look at him and just say, it's terribly frustrating when things don't go your way, I know. But never mind. And I'm going to try and
Yeah,
hit him
You do indeed hit
with
him.
successful flashiness, and then
Oh, for max damage. Close,
nice.
but not enough as he still,
Ah,
with that, you knock him to his knees, and even on his knees, he's still equal to your height. Breaking many of these scales now, severing several sort of muscles, and you can kind of see beneath his scales blood pouring out. But he is still, even now, a danger.
I'm going to just sort of shout or call out to my companions, oh, for pity's sake, somebody please kill him.
Then we move to Mordai.
Has he got the hang of hitting yet?
Not yet.
Oh. Um, and we'll cast magic missile at him.
Okay.
Because sometimes you just want to be sure.
Yeah.
Great that we got the bless, but sometimes you just don't want him to suddenly get the hang of this.
Okay. So actually cast it this time. Go and do the
Yeah,
damage.
let's go for that. So
Yeah.
let's click on the damage button.
Because it'll be more fun. Because that one will finish him. Because he only had one hit point left. And the other missiles sort of crack all of his scales, and he slumps forward, dead. I mean, why were you all so scared of him? I mean, you spent a lot of time sneaking around, avoiding him. He was obviously no challenge to such mighty champions as all of you.
Because he's less
Congratulations.
of a challenge when his scouts aren't also in.
So you have one captured scout, and the whole of this area is now enemy free. What you are aware of, though, is you spent a fair amount of time using your tactics here. At any moment, reinforcements could arrive.
Yeah, time to get scooting. Well, we have to take these herbs, right?
Well, there is this pit here, and you can see from where you are, especially you, Moonlight, is that there's no real lip this side, so you can gaze down it if you wanted to.
Go and see what we're dealing with, I guess.
Yeah. So
what? There's just before Arden heads over, the one that is tied up, and I think we gagged him potentially. The sleep will have worn off by now, though.
yeah.
I would like to attempt to knock them out with the pommel of my sword, please.
Yeah, again, they are restrained. We're not going to go through the mechanics of trying to do extra damage to him. You just render him unconscious. He can't resist that. Looking down this large gaping pit, you see that the sides of the walls of it are irregular. There are chunks of rock that stretch out from the walls. It is possible to perhaps climb down, moving from outcrop to outcrop, but it is going to be challenging. It descends down beyond any of yours dark visions, down and down and down into the darkness. It is up to you how you wish to try and clamber down here. A degree of acrobatics, a degree of athletics would be needed, unless you can think of other ways. What lies at the bottom, you are unsure.
Would a climb speed negate the necessity of rolls?
You would be absolutely fine here because you can put your claws in and climb down. You have a climb speed. It is no challenge to you. Of course, for your other companions.
I
Sorry, go on, Moonlight.
okay. I could climb down with a rope and can secure it to the top. I can tie it down at the bottom or hold it steady.
Well, if I can't see the bottom, I've only got 50 feet of rope and I can see 60 feet. So I don't think rope's going to necessarily help us.
Well, unless we tie it together.
Well, if we have enough.
It's better than
Depending upon
nothing.
Mordai,
depending upon the
Did you
distance,
say-
I do have this, and he holds up a feather. As long as it's not beyond a certain distance, we could safely float down.
all of us?
Yes.
Oh, well, that sounds very useful then.
Sounds much easier.
Just check the range of
I think
this.
attaching a rope at the top will be useful, just in case we need to get back.
Get out.
Potentially, although that would then, if anyone were to come back, they'd probably guess where we'd gone.
Possibly.
I can always climb up with the rope later.
True.
So,
Guessing in the meantime, we
are you
Thinking
going
as
to
long
do
as it's not further than 600 feet, we're fine.
Mm,
If it's 601 feet, we take a lot of falling damage.
Well,
leap of faith
I
then?
think
Leap of faith.
feels like that feels like the option.
Very good. So, you all jump. I guess I need to ask this question. Mordai, do you actually cast Featherfall? And if you do, who do you target?
Well, target is such a negative word. But I protect all of my companions and myself with Featherfall.
Perfect. So, once again, you have adventured together, and perhaps this is a method that has been put to use many times, and you are familiar with it as you begin to float gently down and down and down, and you do, in fact, descend a fair distance, traveling close to maybe 300 feet. You can just see at the top the murky mist and the light of the bog. Small sort of opening now above you. What is worse is you descend down and you don't land on solid ground. There is indeed a horrible stagnant water at the bottom here. And some of you, those of you in heavier armor, begin to sink.
Yeah, this is not good terrain for armor.
You
No.
do, though, have two uses of the worm mallow. It was good that you spoke to Dylan and actually took their advice. Before you sink under the waters, one assumes you are going to take a dose of this worm mallow.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect. This does give you the ability to breathe water for an hour. As you descend through the murky waters, this is indeed the true lair of Saimodia. It takes you a fair amount of time to clamber through sort of sunken and flooded chambers, small tunnels that could easily be burrowed out by such a great dragon as Saimodia. Sometimes the walls themselves have been collapsed, and you do notice that entry has been gained by perhaps these Dragora Kai digging. It takes you a fair amount of time, but you do the best you can, avoiding any of the dangers down here until eventually you find exactly what you were looking for. Let me call up the final map for you. Boom, boom. And let us pop you onto this map here. You see that it is in total darkness here. Well, when I say total darkness, there are some bioluminescent fungi sort of glowing with strange colours, and you can sort of make those out. Also, as well as that, you can make out some kind of interrogation going on in a draconic. Can any of you speak draconic?
I think I can.
I don't think so.
Is
No.
nope.
Okay,
No.
so
But I guess we'll recognise it, even if we don't know what
Yeah.
they're saying.
yeah. So I mean, you recognise draconic, and you certainly know that this is going on here. And with it being draconic, you are very much aware that, well, that there is some kind of interrogation going on. So it is pretty much up to you what you want to do. Perhaps this is the location. Perhaps this is where this Rask is doing the interrogation. And you can hear it further to the east along that passageway.
Sneak carefully forward, cautiously, and try and get closer to see as well as hear what's going on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is going to be a group stealth of you all, please.
Would anybody like to be invisible to either lead the way or anything like that?
We all just rolling, apart from Moonlight.
Well, first and foremost, Moonlight has asked whether if you get invisible, you will have advantage on your stealth roll. Does anybody want to accept Moonlight's offer of invisibility?
If that would
I mean, it'd be
probably
handy as
help.
the armoured person to have the bonus, depending how many people
Yeah.
we can test it on.
Single target.
Yeah, how many? Single target.
Yes, I believe so.
But if you want to do it on yourself to lead, then by all means.
No, I'm quite skilled and confident in my own abilities and light-footedness.
Well, I don't know about leading, but I mean, I'm better up close. And if I was invisible, then I could potentially get up close and hit before I'm seen. But I also don't want to take it away from Birgitt.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm more likely to make more noise and potentially give it away, but I have a couple of things that can happen from a distance. So if you want to try and get in there quick and lightning strike, that's quite a good.
I'm the most use up close, so that feels like, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And then that means it would just be a straight roll.
Okay.
Right.
So Moonlight. If you want to target Ardan, you've already applied the invisibility. I can see that. Perfect. So now we know where we are. If you can all give me stealth rolls, it should hopefully roll this with a straight roll for you, Ardan. Okay, very nice. Ardan, that did not roll as a straight roll.
Said it dropped 19 though, so
Okay.
I guess it would have been.
So, well, unfortunately, do you want me to just let me modify your character sheet for a moment?
Sure.
What I will let you do is we will tick that off for you there. Give me another stealth roll, please.
Nope.
Very nice. That's rolled straight for you, and you've got a 20. So, boom, 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 boom. That is a very good. This is group stealth, so 50% is needed, and you're above all of the passive perceptions. So what I'm going to do is move you forward slowly here as you all sort of creep forward. You can see further ahead that there are these kind of glowing mushrooms in the way here. There's no sort of natural lighting of sorts.
I can cast light, but obviously it'll put us at risk of being noticed. So
Yeah,
I'm just putting it out there.
it's going to, it would negate your kind of stealthing at the moment if that was going to happen. So you'll just keep moving here and moving forward. So you get to about here into this much larger chamber. There is this mushroom garden here that you can perhaps hide in. You haven't been noticed yet, and what you notice in this map, let us zoom in a touch more for you, is sort of here is what you would assume to be Rask, Dracora Kai, sorceress. There is a large tome in her hand, and she is moving around, and she is demanding information from this dragon. You can't tell what she's saying, but absolutely she is getting very frustrated. All sorts of threats. Let me show you what Rask looks like there. There is an energy around her as well, as she is attempting to force Simodia into revealing, one would assume, if Dylan told you correct, the location of her treasure. Simodia looks like this, except not free at the moment, but bound by arcane bonds, wings more, all tight. It is disturbing to see such a magnificent creature so helpless.
It's not right.
The final individual in here is this Dracora Knight, sort of bodyguard to Rask, no doubt, that is paying attention in the direction that you are in, but hasn't seen you move around and hide amongst this glowing mushroom garden at the moment. If you were to strike now, you all would have advantage. Not advantage. You would have a surprise round once again because of your good stealth. If you were attacking from this location, you would also have advantage on your attack. But of course, that choice is yours. So, what would you like to do? Would you like to take advantage of the surprise round?
I think that feels like the most sensible option.
Okay. So, everybody roll initiatives, and you all get a full turn before they get to act. Moonlight. Oh, two natural ones on initiatives. It's a good job you've got a surprise round. Slightly better. Okay, so we move to Birgitt. I don't know whether it's the fact of seeing this magnificent dragon helpless, but you are inspired to move first. Bless would have worn off you all now, by the way.
Okay. In that case, I will cast it again.
Okay. So, yep. So, targeting the same three people?
Unless you've got a reason to. Moonlight, do you have any particular attack actions you'd want the boost for? Or?
No, I think it's reasonable. But I'll hold it against you when I'm retelling this tale.
Lovely.
I understand.
Or use it to boost your own story that you entered without the blessings of a god.
Absolutely. So you use your turn You feel yourself all blessed. Well, 3 of you at least. Is there anything else you wish to do? Sorry, I'll free you up so you can move now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I won't move too far forward because I'm obviously expecting Ardan to
Yeah.
make the move. I want to make sure I'm ready. Can we move? Like, is there any certain path up here, or
No, you're easy to move anywhere on this map.
we could move straight ahead to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll wait here then.
Okay, perfect. Then we move to Mordai. Just pop you onto a square. What would you like to do?
Okay, so Mordai. Straight out where he is. Let's going to know next round. So let's take advantage of all we have, and we'll launch a firebolt at the much gone on about, really quite tiresomely so, Rask.
Rask, the proper
Really?
sorcerer. I mean,
Sort
Rask
of
looks
fine.
fairly magnificent. A tome in there. These magical energies surrounding them.
Yes, well, some people are just terribly theatrical. I mean, what do they have to back it up?
Perfect.
And we'll cast a firebolt at them. So is this an advantage, did you say, when we're attacking from here?
Yes, you are currently hidden, so you will get advantage on this attack.
Is that auto, or do I just click on
No,
advantage?
click on the ADV button, yeah.
Cheers. Targeted. There we go.
Ooh, the fates
Oh,
are
About
not with
right.
you. The fates are not
clearly.
with you. As
Some sort
even with advantage and bless, the bolt shoots wide. The Dragora Kai
of dramatical.
sorceress turns her attentions as you flee behind a bush.
I dramatically. What's the matter with you, for goodness sake? Drop. Let's get back into it.
Then we move to Ardan. You are currently invisible. So you can, you don't have to be where I've put you. I was just moving that. You can be a touch closer, obviously. I was just doing that for convenience. Anywhere on the edge of the mushroom garden is fine.
So if I could be there, is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
How far away am I? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, not quite close enough. Okay. I am going to use my action to dash.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my action and my movement.
Yep.
And because I'm still invisible, I want to basically get up around the back of the sorcerer.
Yep. Okay.
Ready to attack on the first proper
Yep.
round. On the basis that they're squishier than the one with the big
Yeah.
axe.
Okay. I mean, no one knows where Arden is at the moment, as you're all wondering what's going on. I'm going to say with invisibility, it's going to be viable for you to make your way around there.
Okay.
Without any sort of stealth rolls. There's all these other distractions going on at the moment. Then we move to Moonlight on Waves.
I'm going to pause for a moment, considering the best way to tell this story. And I think that is the brave, heroic cat sprinting all the way up to the spellcaster with feline agility and trying to stick it with the dagger.
Unfortunately, no flanking at the moment, for Arden has not revealed themselves. But again, you charge forward bravely, perhaps the last thing that you will ever do. Oh, and you hit. It is but a flesh wound, but it's still a hit. And something strange happens as you strike and sort of cut into the scales of this sorceress. As close up as you are, you see that the ring on her finger flares with arcane energy, and at the same time that flares, the arcane runes bands upon Simodea also flare. Beyond that, that is the end of your go. Is that your...
That's everything.
Okay. So we move to Hill, Daurori, Dragor, Kai, Knight. It sort of looks at their ward Arask. Arask says, in common, so that you, Moonlight, can hear it and understand it. And do not worry. It seems curiosity is about to kill the cat. Deal with the others. I will deal with this one. The knight moves forward. Towards you. It raises its longsword at you. And it attempts to slash at you. And once again, misses. This thing does have multi-attack though. It can make 2 longsword attacks. Misses. It's not going to do it this turn because of item interactions. It's drawn its longsword, made 2 attacks. It does look like it's going for its short sword on its next turn. So it's going to have 2 swords, 1 in each hand. Birgitt, it is your go now.
I will try and hit him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I rolled the damage then.
We're playing that game, are we?
It works.
Are we playing
No,
that game?
never mind. Take that back.
Yeah, I think I might heal it of the damage. Nice try though. So we move to Rask here.
Hi, I'm Moonlight on Waves. How are you?
I am angry. It seems that my forces are incapable of hurting anyone. Are you all for hire?
Yeah, your forces were terrible. I sat down and had lunch with them before I came here.
With that, poof, she disappears as she tries to cast a spell anyway. Is anybody going to attempt to counter that? I'm not entirely sure anybody can or do anything about it.
Not at that level.
So she turns invisible for the moment, and then she begins to I'm going to do this because you don't know where she is. Move away. Boom, 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 boom.
I don't suppose I would get anything, seeing she's vanished.
I mean, you would do if the rules didn't say you get attack of opportunities against targets you can see.
No, that's fine. I
know it's fine.
Thought I'd ask the question.
It's a good question to ask. I totally appreciate it, and the answer is no. Then we move to Mordai.
Having girded his loins from his awful attempt at firing. Right, by the powers that are centered in me, I will twin. Where's she got? Oh, for goodness sake! I mean, really. And we'll just cast a single him to cast a single firebolt at the only target remaining. It was all ready. Some people have no sense of occasion.
You hit the knight. Very nice. You do the 7 points, but you realise this knight has red dragon blood going through its veins, and it partially resists the flame that you cast at it. It's just getting better. Then we move to Ardan.
Well, that's thwarted my entire plan. And it was a really good plan as well. That's annoying. Okay, I have no idea where they've gone, do I?
I will allow you a perception roll.
That's very kind of you. I will take it.
I will also take in account your passive perception, which is only 10. So I'm going to say with a 13, you heard them move in this direction here. So what you can do if you wanted to, I'm going to reveal them. You can sort of move there and flail your attack around. Because they're invisible, you'll be at disadvantage, but because you are invisible, you'll be at advantage. So it will technically just be a straight roll, as the blind will be trying to hit the blind.
Why not? Let's try it.
Okay. I have no idea whether the programming is going to work here, so just target them and make your attack. Let's see if it does the clever things. No, so don't worry too much about that. I'm going to give you that as a hit. So your invisibility fades from you because you've made an attack. Can you give me some damage, please? Very nice. They managed to maintain their concentration. But Moonlight, again, you see that the bands flare up, the arcane bands upon Sidomir. Very nice. Is that your go, Ardan?
Yes, I don't think I can do anything else, unfortunately.
Cool. Then we move to Moonlight.
Okay, did I? Oh, Arden, is she? Where is she?
You definitely can
Over
activate
here.
something there, yeah.
Okay, then that is wonderful. Sure you all know what I'm going to do.
What did you...
Fairy fire.
Oh, right, very good. So, yeah, you've got a rough idea. They saved, though, unfortunately, and yeah, they are not visible. Are you staying there?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where she is, so...
Some more attacks from Hill Duror. He's going to make a longsword attack and again miss. And again miss, and he draws his short sword this time. I have missed 3 times. I'm not entirely sure.
Let's see if I can carry on.
Yes.
It's just us flailing at each other, like.
Absolutely. Birgitt, you'll go. Oh, you hit this time.
Nearly went onto the one.
Yeah.
For a mighty 3 damage.
It's okay. It all counts and adds up. This is tough. And he's not even struck you yet, having had a good sort of 5 attacks. We move to Arask, and Arask just casts a spell, coming visible. There is a cloud of stinking gas that covers both Moonlight and Waves and Ardan. a 20-foot radius sphere of yellow, nauseating gas centered a point within range. The cloud spreads around corners. The cloud lingers in the air for the duration. Each creature that is completely within the cloud at the start of the turn needs to make a con save versus poison. What is more importantly, though, is that the area is heavily obscured. So this means that Ardan, you're going to love this. You are technically blinded. So let us put this upon you. Which probably means the map has just gone completely black.
Yeah, that feels a little bit unfair, frankly, but fair enough.
Well, you are in an area of heavily obscured. The same thing happens to you as well, as you too are technically blinded, Moonlight. You know you're not blind, you just know that you're in this gas. And because you can't see them, they then move away again. 15, 20, 25, 30. Trying to get to their champion, their knight.
And I don't get any sense that they're moving.
Oh, you get a sense they're moving. Yeah. And you're not blind. You know that there is this gas around you, so you can perhaps easily do that. But when they move away, you're not sure. You can swing your sword, but unfortunately, you can't make an attack of opportunity. Invisibility fades from them, though, as they have cast a spell now. Then we move to Mordai. You might be on mute or thinking.
No, just thinking.
Yes. She meets your eyes as a duel of the sorcerers commences.
I'm not sure I know who you are. And he will. What's he going to do?
She says in broken common, at last someone who can truly try and challenge me.
Do that. You're just going to do that. So. Yes, so he will use a sorcery point and transmute his normal spell of Firebolt to something with a different damage type. And see what happens. So we'll target her and fire. Ugh.
Okay,
unfortunately. A bolt of ice goes past her. He looks meaningfully at Hilda Roy.
Well, I like to think that she counters as your bolt of ice comes up. She creates a bolt of fire and they clash together. Neither one successfully doing it, but no damage to them.
I like that too. If she just used her action, that'd be lovely.
I'm just going to upgrade her to legendary so she can have more.
Oh, is she not already? I assumed.
Yeah, no. Believe me. Perfect. And with that, we move to poor, blinded Ardan. One assumes you're just going to step out of the...
Yep. A step forward to begin with.
Okay, you are no longer blinded.
Okay. So then that being the case, get to that, and then if I'm 25 feet away, which it says I am, I'm just going to run up to her and try and hit her with a sword.
She shouts, "Not fair."
Well, life isn't fair. But never mind. It could be worse, and hopefully it will be. Hang on. Nope, not really.
She dodges it. the
Oh,
rolls
it's
have
just
been very interesting. That is your go.
Yep. Great.
Then we move to Moonlight on Waves. You currently, oh, sorry, you need to make a
Honest,
con
you can-
save, don't you? Yeah. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
I should have done that as well, shouldn't I?
Yeah, it's okay. You missed anyway, so we'll let that go. It's late. That is a fail, Moonlighters. Basically, on that failed save, creature spends its action retching. So you can still move, as far as I'm aware, unless it's badly worded, but you can't use your action. And as you kind of stumble forward, somewhat blinded, you come out of the cloud. Okay, there we go. So that is your action and your movement. You do have a bonus action if you wish to use it.
Anyone looking injured? I don't think there's been that much damage thrown around, really.
Is that a vicious mockery at the GM there? Considering, yes, I've missed a lot.
Yes, with 3 attacks. on
According to the new Fantasy Ground party sheet, 17 times.
Yes.
Which is just
Thank you
can't
for
believe that.
yeah.
Salt in the wounds.
We do have a statistic keeper here, and I should be looking at it. So yeah, anything else you want to do, Moonlight?
No, thank you.
Beautiful. I would like to sort of have a conference with my co-writer for this adventure. Matt, can we increase? Is it too late? Can we increase the stats of these creatures? No.
It's not. It's not. It's a bit late for that, and
Okay.
get new dice is all I'm going to say.
Yeah. It has been my incredibly low rolls. Oops, and I almost cheated there. I cheated myself. I'm being distracted. It is, in fact, Hill DeRoy's go. And, I'm a great believer in probabilities. It's coming back to me now. Longsword. Oh, here we go. Hit. You maintain your concentration on breath. Longsword is a miss, and then the short sword comes in and hits you. Now heavily damaged, but you manage to maintain your concentration. Things have started to get serious as the blades are starting to dig deep into you. Birgitt, it is your go.
Yes. I suppose I should probably heal, as my rolls are not any better than your rolls.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you think is necessary.
Can you get a potion of healing as well?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have just got a potion of healing.
So let's say we house rule it that it would be a bonus action for you to drink it, should you wish to.
All right, let's look a potion.
Okay, so that is
What's that one?
2d4 plus 2. See, suddenly it's become useful. Very good. Very nice. So you heal 9 points of damage and you're on 13. So I believe that is 4 wounds. So you glug that down.
Glug, glug, glug.
You still have your action ahead of you.
Try and hit him.
Okay. Oh, you hit this time. For a solid amount of damage as you clank against him. Very nice.
Still could probably do with some help.
Yeah. She is going to disengage and move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Definitely could do with some help.
Yeah, as they are going to take out the healer and not to a nice fish supper.
Shame.
Mordai, it is your go.
Right. Yeah, he's going to, let's see. Yep. He's going to target the knight
Okay,
and cast magic missile at him.
cool. Always good to go for
So
certainty.
1, 2, and 3.
Nice.
So that is 9, 11 points of damage.
Yeah, stun the damage directly to him as you kind of hit that, and there's nothing he can do about it.
And then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Right. Oh, sorcerer versus sorcerer. She changes her view and kind of looks at you, drawing a wicked blade.
Oh, I'll do item interaction too and draw a dagger. There
Yeah,
you go.
could you? Sorcerer versus sorcerer, knife.
Like a slap fight.
Yeah. Ardan, 'tis your go.
Okay. I am going to dash up behind the knighty dude,
Okay.
and I am going to.
Stack.
Dynamic combat here as everybody is lined up in a conga line.
They're all in a conga line.
Yeah.
Suddenly we all break off fighting and
Let's hope
Attempting.
Cymodia doesn't decide to just spit acid in a line.
So I think I've targeted the knight.
Yeah, you will have advantage because of flanking.
Doesn't look like that.
You didn't roll.
I think it was advantage.
Yeah, so just roll that again without advantage.
It's a fighter crit.
No, there was the crit is just reminding you.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Even worse.
Damn it.
So I walk up behind them and don't do anything useful at all.
Yeah, you
But
kind of wave
I'm
around.
nearby.
And then we move to Moonlight.
Useless.
How or would it be possible to try and wrest this ring off the sorceress?
The ring is an object. It's going to be very difficult to take it from them, but it is possible. But the ring itself can be targeted as well. It's kind of a big, showy ring, and it does have stats, as mentioned. So this is to do it. It's going to require some kind of either strength athletics or a sleight of hand to try and physically take the ring off. Or you can try and target the ring instead.
I guess I'm happy if it's destroyed. I don't particularly want to chain a dragon. Should I just roll a d20 with my modifier, or?
It's literally an attack roll, so
Yes,
you
what
have
do I
to
target?
just roll it. The armor class is 15.
Okay.
And it has a certain amount of hit points. It is a magic item, so it is not a mundane item. So you hit it, then just roll your damage. Very nice. You chip the ring. She screams, looking at you. Again, there's a flare of magic from the ring and the bonds. But it seems, Moonlight, you are perhaps onto something here. Nicely done. You have damaged it, by the way, just to clarify. Then we move to Hildari. Hildari is going to turn its attentions to you, Ardan, because it doesn't want to be flanked anymore. Swings the longsword at you for a first attack, and again, it's an automatic miss. A longsword again is also a miss, and a short sword. This is just short sword does hit you. Oh, for max damage, very nice. And you are now heavily damaged.
Yeah.
Then we move to Birgitt. Dangerous times.
Hit the ring. Maybe the dragon will join us. Or eat us. Either way, it'll be a great story.
What would you like to do, Birgit?
Get out of this weird conga line, but
You can just disengage and move away.
no,
You don't
I
want to take
mean,
attacks of opportunity.
no, I mean, I am providing good advantage at least as well. I'm going to keep hitting this guy because he's terrible.
Okay, so you're going to target the knight again.
Yeah.
And
It's a
you
good
have
advantage.
you do have advantage. Oh, very nice. You hit a very solid thump. And max
Yay.
damage again as you do this. He's a Dragorite knight, though, and
He's taking it well.
yeah. And then we move to she is going to try and stab you with her blade, Mordai, as there is a sorcerer versus sorcerer attack. It's kind of a forked blade looking like a mini trident, and this one does hit. Or for maximum damage. Have you used your hellish rebukes?
Yes, only get one.
Yeah, cool. She does have multi-attack, so she attempts to attack you again, also hitting for 6 points of damage. You are looking in a bad state now, but it is indeed your go, Mordai.
Adam, you wound me deeply. Reach out in a pleading gesture and attempt to sleight of hand the ring off her finger.
Okay, this is interesting. Give me a sleight of hand roll, please. Oh,
22.
open rolls,
Good
22. She smiles as your blood is kind of washing over her as you stagger forward in a very Shakespearean kind of way. She knows she has bested you. She smiles, ready to do the final killing blow. What she doesn't know is that the ring on her finger has been removed. As it does, there is a flash of energy, and the effect of concentration that was stored into the ring fades. The arcane bonds on Moonlight fade as the concentration is broken, and she is once again freed. And to even greater dramatic effect, I'm assuming, Mordai, is there any extra things you want to do there cinematically? Because Simodia is actually next.
Oh, howl, howl, howl. Oh, what I found. Just grin at her and just look over her shoulder.
Okay, there is a little bit of wee that begins to trickle down her leg. At that point, Simodia most definitely is neutral to you all now. Is freed, and you can perhaps guess that Simodia is not best pleased. With easily enough movement, flies down, and the sorceress first. I think a bite. See, I can hit with Simodia. In a single attack, 27 points. Another claw hitting enough to take down the sorceress, changing the attack upon to the knight. The second claw sort of comes in, again hitting. heavily damaging it, and it says in common, "Thank you, my friends. Finish him. No mercy." We move to Ardan.
Yes, yes, madam. Of course, as you wish. And I will strike at what's his face.
Yeah. You hit.
He.
Please, someone go.
It was only 1 point on the dice, but with your modifier enough to finish him off.
He.
Very good. There is a few moments to pass as you see Simodea still not quite right. Prepare, raise up this huge dragon. Well, timely intervention. What are you? Come to steal my treasure too?
Indeed not,
Well,
madam. We are here on the behest of what's his name? I don't remember. I'm on 1 hit point.
The village asked
The
us to look into the difficulties of the bog, and we found that these creatures had heard of what they'd done to you, and we came to free you because that's how to restore the balance of the bog, and because personally I find it abhorrent that they would do such a thing.
And it'll make a great story.
It will indeed make a great story. With your actions and your intentions, I guess you should be rewarded. Do not let it be known that Simodea does not pay their debts. But if it is gold, platinum, items of power that you seek, that is not the treasure which I hold. Come, you deserve to look upon my hoard. And with that, it sort of stretches its wings and kind of moves around, having been restrained to here, and begins to burrow through the wall of the cave. No secret chamber, just a wall of mud. But it does indeed reveal another chamber hidden. She says, "Come," as you follow her into that chamber.
Yeah, follow her.
You can move your pieces through if you wish.
Yep.
And as you enter the chamber, you begin to see that there is a couple of these large bioluminescent mushrooms, but beyond that, there are several sort of rocks with crystals that seem to sort of peel out of them. And as you begin to look a little closer, you realize that those aren't rocks but eggs. And she says, yes, these are my treasure, my young, and for some reason, that sorceress was aware that they are close to hatch. And as she says those words, you see the rocks begin to splinter, the crystals begin to fall from them as
Wow.
the eggs begin to hatch, at least 2 of them, one of which it seems that Ardan is standing upon.
I would jump back. Oh, terribly sorry.
Well, it was even more important that we came here. I'm very pleased.
So as you can see, it is It is a great debt that I owe you. This is what the eggs look like. Let me share these with you because they are fantastic miniatures. That is egg number 1, and that is egg number 2.
Nah.
Oh, would you look at that? How darling. Delightful. Oh, look at that one. Oh.
Oh, we'll have to come and visit again.
Well, you are always welcome here now. I consider you friend.
Very honoured.
But you should be rewarded. I have little. I do not hoard treasure. But there are a number of my scales that you can see scattered around. Check, take them as tokens. They might prove useful to you in your future escapades.
Oh well, thank you. Yes, they're very hardy, the scales.
And with that, you take those. The good news is that you know that once you return to Scratch and tell the villagers of your success and of stopping the terrible actions of the Dragora Kai mercenaries, you will be rewarded with gold too. Simo dear doesn't expect you to trouble yourselves with the journey through her lair again. It is difficult for ones of your nature, and is more than happy to burrow an exit for you as
Nice.
you emerge into the Rotwood, having solved the riddle of it. It is easy enough from here to return back to Scratch and claim your reward, the balance of Rotwood Bog being addressed once more. And with that, that is where we will draw our tale to a close tonight. Thank you very much, everybody. Sorry, we
Thank you.
actually overrun a little bit, but it's due to your fantastic role playings and perhaps my
Not
ability
terrible.
to roll incredibly badly. Believe
Well, I'm
me,
glad you did because they did a lot of damage.
yeah,
Yes,
it,
definitely did.
it is balanced. It is designed for 4 to 6. That is the way that it works. I'm not upset that I didn't roll high. I think it's, I think it's an indication that 4 characters, not necessarily all martial characters, can succeed. And you
Yeah.
saw the dice rolls. The dice rolls were open, and it shows that we've thoroughly play tested this a good number of times, and provided the party doesn't go off the rails with some really crazy ideas like, well, let's just jump down the 200-foot pit without using feather fall or something like that. They should survive. I hope you enjoyed it all. First and foremost, that's the thing. It is certainly an adventure that both myself and Matt are very, very proud of.
Rightly so.
The miniatures, the ones
We're
that
looking forward, to getting the miniatures when
yeah,
Kickstarter.
oh yeah. I mean, you just
Yeah.
look at those. I mean,
I know.
they're so brilliant. I mean, the 2
Yeah.
dragon eggs are my favourites, I think.
Yeah, no, they're great.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to run for it. As I said before, there is plenty more within the adventure book as well. We didn't scratch, if you excuse the pun, even a fragment of all of the other encounters. There were certainly hints in there about the other things that are within the Rotwood, as well as the settlement of Scratch to explore as well. So I think for now, this is where we say a big thank you to our cast for spending a good few hours with us and overrunning a little bit. Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed it, and for now we will say a big goodbye to you all as well. Take care, stay safe, and till next time.